Well, hello everyone. Welcome to another Friday night, another live stream. We are getting that much closer to spring. My name is Ron Henry. I'm here to hang out with you guys, answer your lawn care questions. It should be a great time. I got a few housekeeping things that I'll get to here in a little bit. Just some questions from last week, and then as always, it's all about you guys. So get those questions coming. I will do my best to answer them, and if I don't have an answer for you, I will take it under advisement and get you an answer next week. So let's see what we have in the house tonight. Looks like Josh Habib has the honor of being first person in. Hey Josh, what's going on? I see your question there. We're definitely going to get to that. We got Stan G in the house, Super TA, Daryl, Lawn to Learn, John Gotch is in the house, JG, the usual suspects, Papa Mo's Low. Hey guys, glad that you guys are taking a little bit of time out of your Friday evening to hang out and talk about some lawn care stuff. So cool. So it's one thing that'd be interesting to hear about from you guys is who of you has put down pre-emergent as yet? I mean, it might be a touch early. I mean, you can do it. As you guys saw in the video that was released earlier this week, we did Alex's lawn. But it'd be interesting to know which of you guys have already put your spring pre-emergent down, getting an early start, and also want to hear about what your goals for 2021. As some quick housekeeping stuff, as far as the show goes, next week we're going to have Jake, the lawn care kid, on. So for all you guys that want to hear about some cool season grass stuff, Jake has graciously accepted and decided to come on the show. So that should be fun. And then the following week, February 12th, we're going to have Lee from Real Rollers on. So all your mowing questions, all about rollers, anything you want to know about mowing grass and Swordman and True Cut and anything having to do with real mowers, he's the guy. So he's going to be on February 12th. So, as promised, I'm scheduling up some guests to kind of get things, so you don't have to listen to me all the time. I know you guys enjoy hearing my voice, but it'd be nice to kind of mix it up now and then. So next week, Jake, the lawn care kid, and the following week, Lee from Real Rollers. Should be a fun time. All right, so the first question, we can jump right into that. A few other things, but let's start with Josh's question. He says, what temperature can I spray some Image, Spec, or 24D? So Image, to my knowledge, there's not really a temperature require or a temperature limitation on Image as far as low temps. Most herbicides, once you get above 85, 90 degrees, they kind of discourage you from spraying them. They tend to cause more yellowing, but since we're not anywhere near that yet, I would say as long as it's not freezing outside, you're probably okay to go. Because like in the video that we just did a few days ago on Alex's lawn, where we had a little bit of POA, some annual bluegrass issues, we sprayed Image without issues. I know there's to my knowledge, there's not really any limits as far as lower temperatures. Obviously, you don't want to be doing it when it's 20 something degrees outside, when it's super low. But there's not really anything on that. On 2,4-D, I think there's an upper limit. So same thing, around 90 degrees is where you don't want to be much higher than that. And it's not that it won't work. It's just that you're gonna introduce a lot more pressure to the grasses you're trying to protect, right? So if you spray that on your Bermuda, as hardy as Bermuda is, you're probably going to cause more yellowing than you would had you done it, when the temperatures are in the 70s or low 80s, that kind of thing. So you should be good to go for spraying Image. The fact that you're asking about Image, I'm guessing that this time of year you're probably dealing with some Poana, and now's the time to get rid of it, man. You wanna put something down to get rid of that. I mean, really, if you did everything right and you did your fall pre-emergent, you really shouldn't be seeing too much POA pressure, too much issue for that. But if you didn't, and before it gets out of hand and really takes off here over the next few weeks, you're gonna wanna knock that out, Josh. So hopefully that helps answer your question. You should be good to go. In other words, there should be no problem with spraying some Image now, because we just did it a few days ago. Very, very cool. Let's see. What else we have here? What other questions do we have? So Super TA's in the house. He's about to crack a cold one and enjoy the live stream. That's pretty cool, man. That's awesome. I appreciate you hanging out. And then Daryl is sharing his spring goals. Daryl Tunstall, he says, hey Ron, my spring goals would be to adding more carbon products. I think it's a good idea. And raising all my micronutrient levels in the soil, plus cutting at 1 inch this season. Those are some pretty good goals, man. Solid. Raising the micronutrient levels, especially the lower ones like the boron, the zinc, those can be a little more challenging. to do. Iron is typically pretty easy to find. Like a lot of fertilizers have iron in it, but finding like a micronutrient that has like all of them, that can be sometimes a bit more challenging to come across. And then mowing at 1 inch is gonna be good, man. You're gonna love the way your lawn looks mowing it at that height. It's gonna do a lot for keeping weeds out of your lawn, and just overall, it's just gonna look good. Like warm season grass, Bermuda likes being cut lower. So if you, assuming you got the right mower, if you're doing, I'm assuming you're gonna probably be using a real mower if you're gonna be at 1 inch. Should be good to go. Should be a great time. Let's see what other questions we have here. So Lawn to Learn says, good evening. What are the best methods for keeping Bermuda from invading your flower beds? Yeah, that's a tough one. Do you use pine bark? I'm addicted to large pine bark at Home Depot. Here's the thing. I don't really, I don't know what pine bark is. I think you're talking about the little chips probably, right? I've never used that stuff. As far as keeping Bermuda out of my flower beds, I don't really have flowers in my flower beds. But what I do is if you look at the any of the videos where you can see the lawn and then like the mulch bed, because again, don't have really flowers. There's the turf, and then there's some pavers, and then there's the mulch bed. So whenever I'm out there mowing whatever, and I'm trimming, and I see like some Bermuda's trying to make its way across, I just get some Roundup, some glyphosate, and just hit the stragglers that are trying to go over. That's really the only place on my lawn that I use Roundup, or I don't put it on my turf at all. Given the fact that you have flowers in your flower bed, that's going to be a tough one because you don't want to get glyphosate anywhere near that stuff because it'll kill those. So my thing, Lawn to Learn, would be if you have like a barrier space, like if you have again some pavers or something that you can use to as kind of like a neutral zone. That's what I would, as soon as the Bermuda crosses that's where we could introduce some kind of a herbicide. I think if you're able to put like a barrier that goes down in the soil, maybe if you can get it down 8 inches, I don't even know if 6 inches would be enough, but if you can get like a plate and put that in between, that might help. But Bermuda's tenacious, man. It's gonna find a way, unfortunately. I mean, the things about it that's good are also bad when you're trying to keep it out of places. So hopefully that helps. I don't know what pine bark is. I think it's the chips that have like they have some kind of chemical on them. But I'm sure someone in the chat will let me know if that's correct or not. So hopefully that helps. A little bit of glyphosate, very, very carefully on the barrier, and that should help with things. All right, let's see what else we have here. So Daryl Tunstall is chiming in. He says, "Yeah, Ron, can you speak on Hydretain, or if you'll ever use it?" Yeah, so Hydretain, I think that's one of those granular products that. That's like it's a wetter, so it helps the turf hold on to moisture. I've not used those before in the past, but I am planning to try it out this year. I've actually got a bag of it already sitting in the garage, so that's something you guys are going to see. There's going to be some content on that this year where I try that out and see how it works. I mean, honestly, my turf hasn't done too bad in summer months without as far as like yellowing or going just from heat pressure. But we'll see if I can add a product that's going to help it retain more moisture and keep it greener with less irrigation. Good to go. I don't, so I've not used it, but you'll see it appear this year. So I'm going to give it a shot. Great question. So yeah, I asked if anyone's applied pre-emergent as yet. John is saying he's not done it as yet. February 14th to 15th. That's around the time when most people, or a lot of the lawn care services around here will go ahead and do it. They will, and soon here you're going to start seeing the trucks rolling all throughout the neighborhood, spraying pre-emergent. Part of that is also because of the number of lawns they have to do, just scheduling wise. I think they get a slightly earlier start, but it's feeling like it's going to be an early spring. So maybe that's why they're gonna, so I think February 14th or 15th is probably going to be a good bet for you. John, as far as getting that down. No harm in getting it down sooner. And if you're putting it down, John, are you going to do like full lap rate, kind of like what we did on Alex's lawn, like like if you have Bermuda, like 0.83 ounces per thousand, or are you going to do a split app? What are your plans? It'd be interesting to hear what you are trying to do. And Papa Lamo's Low is in the house. What's going on, man? And he's trying to. Tell everyone, as I told you guys, if you're enjoying the live stream, you're sitting down with your beverage of choice. In my case, it's going to be a lemonade. I got premiums. This is Chick-fil-A lemonade, guys. So this is premium. I'm stepping it up. Be sure to hit that like button. I really appreciate it. it's free to you, and it lets YouTube know that we are having fun here. Let's see. So Papalomo's Low is talking about pre-emergent. He's not done pre-emergent as yet, but he got some POA and he jumped up. That got jumped up. So he said that the last video on image was a spot on for timing. Totally, man. Because see, like it's colder today in Georgia, but earlier this week, we had one day, I think it got to like almost 70. I think it was like 68 degrees, which is insane for January, right? So that's where if you've got any POA just lurking and you haven't put down, you didn't put down a fall pre-emergent, or you didn't use like one of the nicer ones, like the Spectacle Flow, like one of those higher end ones, you might start seeing some issues with POA. So I'm glad that the video was useful. It was a fun video to make, and yeah, I'm glad that worked out. And again, yeah, John, thank you so much for your service, sir. I appreciate that you served our country for 21 years in the military. So thank you so much for that. Let's see, Michael Harner. Did I ever get a chance to look at your email? Which email? I thought I'd gone through all of them, but I guess I will have to check again. If you don't mind, just send me a note saying this email address so I can know who to look for in my inbox. I thought I answered all emails, but if not, I will get to it after the live stream. So I apologize for that. Helmet Ruckus is in the house. Of course, LG is in the house as well tonight. And so yeah, it should be a good time. The usual suspects. Let's see, a note here from Lee Farmer. He says, Ron, my man, went to my local landscaping supplier yesterday, who is the only one that carries Lebanon Turf Country Club fertilizer, only to be told they switched to a Lesco brand. You said, where can I get Lebanon? It has been traditionally a pretty hard fertilizer to come by. We'll see, man. I mean, it's the Fert has been getting a lot more press lately. I've been doing a lot of content on it because I really, really, really like the fertilizer. That's why I haven't switched away from it. So, we'll see. I know there are a few places that can get it, but just keep asking around. And if I ever come up with something for you guys that, as far as being able to get your hands on some Lebanon turf, I will definitely let you know. I'm sorry that the place that carried it stopped carrying, because it is kind of a niche brand, right? It's like it's used very, very commonly on golf courses, and the first time I used the stuff on my lawn, it's just the depth of color that I got out of it. I just said, no reason to switch. I'm good. I'm just gonna keep this. And then their Country Club line is especially a really, really good product. You just got all the good stuff in it, and it's not too horribly priced. So just keep looking out there, Lee. Again, we'll see. Hopefully, maybe this season, someone will offer it, or we'll see what we can come up with. But yeah, I'm glad that you said were you ever able to ever try it? I wonder, or this is the first time you're just trying to get your hands on it? I guess if you can, just comment below and let me know. But sorry that your person or your landscape place switched away from it. Let's see. Lawn Journey's saying his turf is still tucked away here in the Northeast. I gotcha. Yeah, I hear you on that. You guys are probably going to be waiting until probably March, April before you get out and start mowing. And let's see. Another note here from Jose A. He says, I just got done putting down pre-emergent. I went a little heavy on the blue dye, and my neighbors thought I was painting the lawn. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that stuff will if you watered it in after applying it, it should go away. Like if you guys saw the video of applying it to Alex's lawn, you can barely even see that pre-emergent was ever put down on it. I mean, I used probably a little lighter than the rate. The rate for that dye was like half an ounce. So I went a little bit lighter than that, just so I could see. And I think it showed up pretty well in the video to where you guys could see where the product went down. But it's no worry, Jose. As soon as you either water it heavily, or we get that next big rain, it'll go away. It'll wash in, and then you won't have you shouldn't have any issues. And Josh, what's Josh saying? He says, Ron, are you riding the grain stop train as yet? No, I am not. I'm not. I'm definitely a much more conservative investor. I don't have time. I don't have time to, or I should say that I don't want to make time to always be tracking prices and moving averages and all this kind of stuff. I mean, I will say this: if you are buying GameStop and you're enjoying it, fine, enjoy it. But I mean, just know that that's probably going to be short-lived. So if you can make some money on it, make your money and get out. Don't try and hold on to it for too long, because the hedge funds aren't gonna are not going to like being made a fool of for too long. So Naomi's in the house. Hey, what's going on? Thank you for chiming in. Metro Retro, some new viewers. Good to see you guys coming to hang out. Law and Order SC. I'm seeing some newer names. Terry Cunningham. I think you are a lot of times on that Facebook group on the Bermuda grass dominators. I think you're the one with the really insane lawn like Bermuda that you keep cut really low. I think it's you. Maybe I'm thinking about somebody else. All right, Bo's in the house. Let's see, Andy's Lawn Care. First time joining the show. Thank you so much. And if any of you guys are new, first of all, welcome. I'm really looking forward to getting to know all of you a little bit more. At the start of the live stream, I think September of last year, as something to do during the fall months, and it's grown into something where it's been valuable to a lot of people in the community. So glad that you are on and having a good time. So one of the questions that I got last week, and I didn't said I would research it, was around a product called Pillar G. Like someone mentioned it, and I didn't know what it was. And what it is, it's another fungicide. So whoever asked me that question, if you're in the live stream tonight, I did research it. It's another fungicide or combination fungicide, kind of along the lines of what Headway G is like. And the nice thing about Pillar G, if you're deciding you're going to use a fungicide and you have a smaller lawn, is that it's available in 15-pound bags. So you can save a little bit of money versus buying a really big bag. So for anyone that asks about that, if we get in a conversation on fungicide, I can go over it a little bit more. But someone asked about that, and I promised I would get an answer for them. And so I did. And there's your answer. It's a competing product. Splash Myers in the house. Black Kryptonite, giving out great information. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. So our next question here from Nick's Nation, he says, can I put down grass seed in April if I fertilize in February? I'm in Richmond, Virginia. Okay, so Nick's, it depends on which grass seed you're talking about. The fact that you're in Richmond, I imagine you probably are dealing with a cool season grass. So here's the thing: how you determine the time to apply a grass when you put down a grass seed is a couple of things. The most important of them being soil temperature. So for Bermuda, at least the one that I use, the grass seed that I use, Arden 15, like that has an ideal wants a soil temperature of 65 degrees or higher for optimal germination. Depending on the seed that you're trying to go with, it should say on the bag like what temperature, what soil temps you need it to be at to get the most out of it. If you are looking to find out what the soil temps are, you can use you can Google it, like soil temperature, and for my area there'll be like an extension office that offers that. If you have the Yard Mastery app, like the app on your iPhone, or I think they have Android too, but if you have that app on your phone, it will tell you the soil temperatures where you are. Or if you're more of a kind of a hands-on guy or hands-on kind of girl, you can pick up one of these guys off of Amazon. It's a soil thermometer. So this will allow you to go outside, stick it in the soil, and it'll quickly tell you within a few seconds what the soil temperatures are. But you want to make sure that the soil temps are where they need to be for the seed that you are trying to grow, and then just adequate watering. Most people that overseed their project fails because they just don't keep enough water on the turf while it's germinating. So hopefully that helps. If you tell me what kind of grass you're dealing with, I can probably help a little more. But I think that should get you on the right track. All right. So Lawn and Order SC says, have you seen sod prices lately? I have not. I have not been in the market for sod for a while. I don't know. It's funny. A lot of people are doing home renovation projects. I guess with the pandemic and everything, a lot of people that work from home or have a lot more time, they can't travel anywhere. They're taking the time to do things around the lawn. So I imagine like lawn care businesses are probably doing fairly well as far as just people doing things that they otherwise would not do. But no, I don't know what the sod prices are like. Lawn and Order SC. I'm not something that I have researched or needed. Let's see. Steven Velasquez says, hey, Ron, make sure you let your Atlanta folks know to create a profile on Site 1 and place an order to pick it up. If you're a walk-up buyer, you don't get any discounts. Pay an extra $7 for my Carbon Pro G. Ooh, that is not good. So that's a good point because I did pick up my monthly supply of Carbon Pro G earlier this week. And one thing that they told me is that the pricing on Carbon Pro G, at least for that product, I'm not sure when you got yours, Steven, but it should be fixed. So whether you are a person that walks in or you're like a person that has like an account, like a contractor or whatever, like it's supposed to be fixed pricing. So it should be $25 or thereabouts per bag. And if it's more than that, just ask them to check and make sure they're quoting you the correct price. But $25 around thereabouts per bag is what you're going to be paying. I really wish the product were available somewhere else, like if someone else sold it other than Site One, because I really like it. But it's kind of a hassle to have to go to the store to be able to pick it up. But yeah, if you can get an account with them, that's useful from a standpoint of being able to order it and having it ready ahead of time. So you can go online, order it, pay for it, and then it'll just be ready for you when you get there. You can kind of lock it in. But as far as Carbon Pro G, I did ask them that this past week, and they said that the pricing on that should be the same for everybody. So it's going to be around $25 thereabouts per bag, which is, for what it is actually a really good price for that product. All right. Thank you, Terry. I appreciate it. And let's see. Bo Muhammad says, I put Pre-Emergent down at the end of November and looking to put down the end of February. That's a good plan, Bo. November's a little bit late for the fall, for taking care of fall weeds. But yeah, February's right on. I mean, next week, this week, once we start getting consistently warmer temperatures, you definitely want to have that stuff down. You want to get it down, get it watered in, and it's going to really help with your spring weed pressure. I mean, that's really, as far as herbicides go, Pre-Emergent are the ones that I really I'd say I know the most about, really, because those really the only ones that you should need on your turf for the most part if you're doing it right. If you're putting a spring Pre-Emergent down at proper rate and you're watering it and doing all those correct things, and then in the fall you're doing the same thing, you really shouldn't have a huge problem with weeds. I mean, you're always going to have some stragglers here and there, but it shouldn't be where you're dealing with this huge outbreak if you're doing it in the spring and the fall. And I'm a fan of cycling it. Some people will do prodiamine in the spring and then save half their rate for doing another application in the fall. I would say just do one in the spring, do prodiamine in the spring, and in the fall do dithiopyr or dithiopyr, however it's pronounced, in the fall. Or if you're a baller, get some of that Spectacle Flow. That's the good stuff right there. That's a really good product, but it's kind of pricey. It's a bit cost prohibitive for a homeowner. So, but yeah, I'm glad that you got some Pre-Emergent down, Bo. And Chaz is saying today was a nice day out, so you went and trimmed some bushes. Yep, that's good. I still have some shrubs I need to trim on this side of the house near the air conditioning units. I gotta just work up the courage to do it. I hate trimming shrubs. I can't tell you, you guys to see. I mean, I have no shrubs in any of the beds because I really dislike it that much. I really don't like dealing with flower beds and dealing with shrubs. I love cutting grass. I'll cut grass, every other day, but shrubs, not so much. Not so much. Just not my thing. I know. And I know the lawn would look better if I had some flowers to set it off, but not my thing. Meister Milan's in the house. What's going on, man? What's going on? Thanks for chopping in the live stream tonight. I really appreciate it. And then Bermuda Brian making an entrance. He says, Bermuda grass is better than all those northern grasses. How's it going? It's going well, sir. Now, I mean, is Bermuda better than all the cool season grasses? We can't say it's better. Okay, let's just be honest. It is better, but you can't make the northern guys feel bad, right? I mean, the one thing with the northern grass, the cool season grass guys have is that stripes. When I'm really on, I get the lawn looking where I get it cherried up. I can lay some decent stripes on Bermuda, but dude, nothing stripes like rye, like a ryegrass or like Kentucky bluegrass. The stripes on a cool season grass are insane. So the one thing that the cool season grass guys have is they can definitely stripe their lawn better and get just a really, really cool appearance. Look at any of Jake's stuff, Jake the Lawn Care Kid stuff, or I'm drawing a blank. Ryan Nor's stuff. The stripe action on those lawns it's incredible. So yes, we do have the master grass, but like everything else, like any Titan, there are limitations, right? And stripes happen to be one of the things. John, I'm glad you enjoyed the episode with Real Rollers. It's going to be fun, man. And then he's going to be on again 2 weeks from now. It should be a good time. We're gonna talk about some cool stuff that we're planning. And it should be a great time. Lee's a really cool guy. The guys at Real Rollers are all great people, and it should be a fun season. Should have a really good live stream. So make sure you guys tune in for that one. Let's see what else here. So Papa Mo's Low says his goals are to heal this tendon. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that that's still hurting, man, that you're dealing with that. And learn what all these products do. I've listened to so many podcasts. I have to remember and learn what everything does. I hear you on that, man. It's really not too complicated. I mean, the big thing, if you have to know what anything does as far as products go in your lawn, as far as herbicides, if you learn about pre-emergent, like again, one in the spring, one in the fall, that's going to do a lot for keeping your lawn looking really nice, and then cutting it regularly. And then once you start getting into some of the more exotic stuff, like plant growth regulators and certain carbon soil amendments, I mean, that's like a whole other level of stuff. But really, for like the person that's just trying to make their lawn look nice, if you can do just a couple of things, like one, like make sure there's not a ton of shade in the grass, apply pre-emergent in the springtime, and then just cut your grass a lot. Like the more you mow your lawn, I promise you this, the more you mow your lawn, the better it's going to look. And the more you mow your lawn, the less issues with weeds you're likely to have, especially if you're dealing with a warm season grass like Bermuda. When you mow it at the right height, and or Zoysia, inch and a half or lower, a lot of the issues you have with weeds just really go away, because most weeds can't tolerate being cut at the heights that Bermuda and Zoysia and centipedes and those types of grass, will they thrive at. You said you just priced centipede for a job and the prices are crazy, same as Bermuda side. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad I kind of got my lawn in already. It's funny, you say that prices are crazy for Bermuda. You should try pricing Bermuda seed. Like Arden 15 seed, you'd think this stuff is like made of gold. It's really, really pricey stuff. It's, 400 plus for 25 pounds of it. But it does look incredible. So good and cheap typically don't go together. What's going on, Matt? Thanks for coming in, for hanging out tonight in the house. And a new question here from Brad H. He says, "Hey Ron, Bermuda lawn in Memphis. What is the best herbicide for spurge?" Okay, if you can avoid having it in the first place, that's going to work really well. That's your best bet. But as far as what I've used that works well, and here's the thing, you have a Bermuda lawn, so you're going to be fine from it. But a combination, a mix of Dismiss, a herbicide called Dismiss, and Speed Zone, like that concoction will absolutely smoke spurge out. You can use Dismiss by itself. Dismiss will do it, but Dismiss and Speed Zone will take care of spurge. Now, here's the thing. The one thing with Dismiss is that it's a great herbicide, or it's a very effective herbicide, I'd say. I won't say it's a great one, but it's a very effective herbicide. The one thing you have to realize is that you are absolutely going to get a little bit of yellowing in your lawn when you put that down. I mean, it's if you have Bermuda, so it's going to be 10 days, 2 weeks before it bounces back and it gets the sheen back. But when you put that down on your lawn, you are going to get temporary yellowing. So just know that it's definitely a thing. And do not mix it heavy. Like literally follow the rate that is specified for Dismiss and or Speed Zone. If you decide to do both, just follow the rate. If you decide to just do one of them, if you decide to just do only Dismiss, just follow the rate. And again, if you are applying it to spurge, it's not like one of these things where you need to soak it. Like when you guys saw me apply the pre-emergent to Alex's lawn, if you watch that video, literally I made one pass and just moved down to the next line and overlapped and just kept going, right? Like there was none of this. If this is the weed, let me go this way. If this is the weed, there's none of this over it, back and forth. Because if you do that, it's like one application, two applications, three applications. So when they say when they mix that application rate, you're supposed to pass over the area one time, because not only will you damage the spurge, you'll kill the spurge, but you'll also damage the surrounding grass. And again, Bermuda is going to come back. It's like a really, really difficult grass to kill. But just make sure if you decide you're going to do that, Brad, that you follow the rate. I'm surprised you're dealing with spurge right now. Spurge typically, things when things warm up is when you tend to see a little bit more of that. But those two will work for you. Either one, either Dismiss or Speed Zone. A mix of those will work too. If you're looking for a granular product, the Spectricide actually works fairly well against it. Let me see if I can find a link for that for you. But the Spectricide, the Weed Stop, I'll show you this. You can get it at Home Depot or on Amazon. Let me get you. I'll show you what it looks like. It should be So this bag, like that, you can get that on at like your big box stores. That stuff works well against spurge if you're just looking for a granular, something you don't have to mix up. The one thing I will tell you, so here's the trick with that one product, and I'll throw a link in here for you if I can find it. The one thing with using the granular Spectricide, is that you have to make sure that the leaf is wet. So one or two, you have two options for doing this. You can either wait till the morning time when there's dew on the lawn, dew on the turf, which there's probably not a ton of that right now, but there's dew. And then, or you can run irrigation and then apply it. And then you're not going to want to have anybody, no pets, no people on the lawn for 24 hours. So if you're trying to use it as a post-emergent, you absolutely have to follow that guidance. If you're trying to use the pre-emergent aspects of it, it's less important and less critical. But as a post-emergent, the turf or whatever you're trying to treat has to be wet, has to be light, so that the product will stick to the leaf and kill it. So one thing to know. So you got options there. You got options for liquid and granular. Hope that helps. Let me know if I can help with anything else. Okay, Andy's Lawn Care and Outdoor Adventure says, Ron, any helpful tips for transitioning from high nitrogen feedings to more of a spoon feeding program? I'm hoping to transition my Kentucky Bluegrass fescue mix to spoon feeding and need some tips. Yeah, so that's a great question. I'm gonna make specifically content on that this growing season. So the thing that makes spoon feeding easier is to get away from higher nitrogen fertilizers. So if you're going for a granular, like something that's under 15% nitrogen, really if you can get it even lower, that would be better. That's going to allow you to do apps, every 3 weeks. And you're also going to want to use something that's going to release a little bit faster because we're not following the full rate and we're using a lower percentage. You don't necessarily want to use a slower release nitrogen if you're planning to spoon feed the lawn. The easiest way to do spoon feeding is just using liquid fertilizer. So if you can find a liquid ferт that you like I like the one from like the Brent Supreme Green Simple Lawn Solutions has some good ones. If you're willing to do the liquid route, that's probably the easiest way to do spoon feeding. Now, by your name, it says you're like a lawn care service. I guess, are you doing it for yourself or for like all your clients? Because that's going to be a lot of work if you have to start increasing the number of apps you're doing in a season. But the big tip for granulars, I would go with a lower percentage nitrogen fertilizer because that makes it easier for you to do apps every 3 weeks without an issue, or liquid if you want, or use a liquid fertilizer if you're trying to spoon feed. And here's the thing: your lawn will look better, like regardless of what, even if you're using like a slow release nitrogen fertilizer, it is going to look better if you're doing spoon feeding apps. I will say that the stuff from Lebanon is really good, like the Mesa, the granules they use, that's their slow release formulation is really, really solid. So if you want a product that that behaves in many ways like spoon feeding, without having to be out there every couple of weeks like putting products on your lawn, if you can get your hands on some ProScape or that Country Club line, you're gonna like it. I mean, that's in many ways allows you to get that quick green up and then also feed the lawn over time because the fertilizer releases a little bit sooner. So hopefully that helps. You got a couple of options there. If you can get some Lebanon stuff, that's what I would go with. If not, if you can't get it, use a lower percentage nitrogen granular or use a liquid for it, because a lot of liquids you'll find those are like anywhere between 10-12% nitrogen. That's going to be really easy to apply without issue. So hopefully that helps, Andy. If you have any other questions, definitely ping me, let me know, and I will I'll help you out. I'll revisit if you have any more questions, any follow-ups. Okay, Black Kryptonite says, I am the soccer field by March guy. Okay, yeah, man. I got some of your I think you were messaging me on Facebook. And you said, I'm seeing some partial growth and getting a lot of rain. What else would you recommend? Okay, I'm trying to remember I remember you were asking me, I think, about fungicides and stuff. I think Caravan G is what you're asking me about. So it's, now here's the thing. If you're a warm season, if you're in a warm, like you're like around Georgia, because I don't remember exactly where in the country you are, like having everything green and like rocking by March is going to be a tough sell because it's all based on temperature, right? So by April, you should be able to, but getting the Bermuda to green up really, really quickly and have it full by March, unless we get a really, really warm, spring, that's going to be challenging. The thing I would say to do is, if you've not done a soil test as yet, right? Because you guys knew this was coming, right? If you've not done a soil test as yet, it's something worth doing, because that's going to let you know, like in your soccer field or whatever you're trying to treat, like what the deficiencies are, so you can treat that. You can make sure that, as far as my nitrogen levels, my phosphorus, my potassium, like all those things, my micronutrients, everything is where it needs to be. My pH is where it needs to be. So you give yourself the best opportunity that once the heat arrives, like there's nothing really going to hold the turf back from really taking off, So the soil test that I like is the one from My Soil. You can hold this right side up. So it's this guy right here. It's super easy to use, super fast results. I mean, you'll do the testing with this and you'll get your results back usually within a week. If you are looking to get one, you can go here, ron-henry.com/soil test, and they're like $30 or thereabouts. For a soccer field, if you're looking to do, because I'm not sure if you had one or not, black kryptonite, but if you might want to get a couple of them, because they have packages that have several of them for a reduced price. So just check out that link there, and you'll be able to get one. But I mean, my recommendation around the soil testing is so that you know what to do to the turf, so that assuming the temperatures and the environmental conditions are right, you'll get the best possible result. We can't really force Bermuda to green up any sooner than temps will allow, but that will certainly help. Let me know if you have any other questions, and if you want to reach out to me other than Facebook, because I honestly am not on Facebook a ton. Just drop me an email here, ron@golfcourseron.com. Just shoot me an email with any other follow-up questions you have, and I will do my best to help you out. So that way I don't miss it. So great question. All right. Okay, here we go. I was wondering how long it would take to get the real mower question. Which real mower question? I was saying, man, the guys they're not really asking. By this time, we're 30 minutes in. We should have had a real mower question by now. And finally, John has the honor of asking it. He says, "Hey guys, which real mower would you all recommend for the first time? True Cut, McLean, or Swardman?" Now you're asking the general audience, but I will chime in. The answer, in my opinion, the best answer to that is whatever you can get serviced. I think, John, you're in the Atlanta area, in the same area as me. So depending on your budget, out of those three, out of the True Cut, the McLean, and the Swardman, I will give you my take on each of them. So the True Cut is built like an Abrams tank. It'll as far as terrain, if you have any uneven surfaces, it's going to be like great as far as an all-rounder. It'll do pretty much anything fairly well. The McLean, I've not personally used one. I've seen one used. I've seen the drive system on it, and I'm not a huge fan of the mower for that reason. So in my mind, there's only really a question between True Cut or Swardman. Now, the thing with the Swardman is going to produce a better cut than the True Cut. And it also has the option that if you decide you want a Verticut, or if you want to use it as a top dressing machine, you can put those different cartridges in, and you can get that functionality. So there's that. So, but the negative to the Swardman is it's probably going to be a little bit more pricey than the True Cut, and finding a used one is going to be more challenging than a True Cut. I mean, I think if you're going new for new, I mean, the Swardman's going to probably be a bit more expensive, but there's not that much in it if you're buying each mower brand new. So if you're going new, I would probably lean more towards a Swardman, assuming that your lawn is you're not dealing with a crazy steep incline, because of just the overall just everything that it can do. Like, it's an all-in-one machine. But those are the only two that I would consider out of those. And on the topic of real mowers, one of you guys in the live stream last week was asking me about where you can get, if you have you had a John Deere. Someone had a John Deere, and they were asking about parts and getting service done to it. And I called the guys that have my mower, the Jerry Pate Company. Really great guys. I asked them when they were going through the final steps of checking over my mower and about to bring it back, and they said that they can do any of them. They can do a True Cut, they can do the John Deere, and obviously they can do Toro. So as far as if you're looking for a place in the Atlanta area to get your commercial reel mower, the only thing they'll say is they only deal with commercial reel mowers serviced. They can help you out. And the guy that I dealt with there, Joey, is a really, really good guy. Really, I mean, you can always tell when you're dealing with someone that enjoys what they do when he explains like the whole process. Like, they obviously sharpened the mower, lubed it up, did everything they had to do to it. But then you explain the inspection process and, you know, how they put on the leveling table to make sure everything is the way it needs to be, how they touch every single bolt a couple times to make sure everything is just the way it needs to be. You know, that's the kind of, you know, service or that's just you want working on your machine. Because, you know, if you decide to go with one of these guys brand new, John, like a real mower is expensive. So you want to make sure that it's set up properly so you get the best possible cut. So if you need someone, there's tons of places in the Georgia area, but Jerry Pate company will also they'll take care of it too. And they're not paying me to say this. I'm not getting a discount or anything because of it, but I'm just telling you my experience with them. It's been really solid. And you know, if you need yet another option for getting your mower worked on, they can do it. Cool. Next question from Lawn Journeys. He says, still 4 to 6 weeks before pre-emergent here. You must be further north, a little bit more than me. He says, you did order my granular and liquid products, Anderson's Barricade and Sunnyland Prodiamine liquid, applying split apps. Cool. Also running my soil test in February. Very nice. Yeah, the nice thing about using Prodiamine, you know, / Barricade is if you guys check out Yardmaster, they make this available. This thing is money, man. So if you have like a smaller lawn, like 6,000 square feet, if autofocus will not fail me, it's failing me. Looks like it is. All right, there you go. So this like a full 5-ounce container. I mentioned this in my video on applying pre-emergent. Like if you only need something to do like a 6,000 square foot lawn or smaller for like, you know, under $25, and here you go. You don't have to go out and buy one of these big boys here that I need for my lawn, and you know, you're good to go. You don't have the herbicides laying around. But yeah, that's it's cool that you got your program all worked out there. Lawn Journeys. It looks like you are on the right path. You know what you're doing. So good to go. Matt DeGoyer stepping in the house. He says, I know you're a Flowzone Typhoon fan. I am. I do like it. Here's the thing. I like my Chapin too. For all of you guys that have Chapins out there, I like the Chapin as well. I like all backpack sprayers. And you said, and I'm also looking at that Petra 500 HD with 100-foot hose reel. Do you have any feedback on the Petra brand? I'm trying to determine what to buy. I have not. Here's the thing. I've never seen a Petra in person, so I can't comment for sure. I've watched a couple of videos on them, and they look okay. It's just that the Flowzone, man, it's very it feels like a commercial unit. Like, you know, whereas the Chapin is like prosumer, it's really good. Like, I mean, a lot of people like hate on it, but I think it's actually a pretty good backpack sprayer, and I would consider that like a prosumer type sprayer. The Flowzone, especially the Typhoon 2, is like a great. I mean, it's a really solid bit. I mean, all the fittings are metal. You know, you got like a quick release for all the different nozzles and stuff on it. The pump, I mean, it's got like the dual pressure where you can do like 70 psi or 115 psi. You know, overall, I think it's a great sprayer. If you are in the market for one now, and the extra cost doesn't, you know, isn't a factor. Like, I mean, because I think the Flowzone, the Typhoon 2 is like $300 thereabouts. So it's a little bit more expensive. But if you can swing that's going to be one that you're going to buy, and you're not going to be replacing it anytime soon. So it's a great sprayer. The Petra, I've just not used one. I've only watched videos, and they look okay. Watching them being used, they're not like a Flowzone. They're not like a Typhoon. Typhoon is like the thing is a beast. Oh, and speaking about the Typhoon, in the video that I did on applying pre-emergent and on the image, one of the viewers let me know that the link that I had in there for the Typhoon 2, for some reason Amazon was pointing it at the Cyclone. The Cyclone is not the one you want. You want the Typhoon 2. I've tried the Cyclone. And the Cyclone, I mean, it's a nice sprayer. It's well built, but it's not as nice as the Typhoon. It doesn't have the pressure, support the pressures the Typhoon does. So I fixed all the links on my videos to make sure they're pointing at the right one. I don't know how that happened, so I apologize. And just shameless plug, I'll also put the Typhoon 2 link in the chat as well too for anyone that's looking at getting one of those. But yeah, for me, Matt, just from looking at it, I'm gonna say Typhoon 2 all day long. I would not go for the variable pressure one, because I don't think that in my opinion, like I don't really understand the use case behind the variable, right? Because really, if you're using the sprayer to apply herbicides or to apply anything really, right? Like the dilution rate for most products is around 1 gallon per 1,000 square feet, right? And the only way that really works to know that you're putting down 1 gallon over 1,000 square feet is to do a calibration test. And to do a calibration test properly, the sprayer needs to be putting out the same rate, the same pressure, so that you know that the fluid's coming out at the same rate. So really, it's like having a variable pressure unit for someone that's doing mainly lawn applications. I don't think there's a ton of value in it. Like 70 or 115, meaning like lower rate or full send, like that I think makes a lot more sense. And it's frankly, it's also cheaper. So if you're going to get one, go with the regular 2, not the 2V, in my opinion. So if anyone has the 2V and you have really good results with it and you like it, let us know, chime in the live stream and let us know why you like the 2V over the dual pressure model. But great question, man. Thanks for chiming in. All right, next question. JP Fransky, sorry for butchering your name. I apologize. You say, when should I spray out my perennial ryegrass this spring to let my Bermuda kick into gear? First time overseeder here. Here's the thing, JP. I've never overseeded my Bermuda with perennial rye. I would imagine when the Bermuda is beginning to come out of dormancy is when you'd want to do it. So March-ish, I would say. March is probably around when you want to get rid of the perennial rye or try to get rid of the perennial rye, so when the Bermuda's coming out of dormancy, you don't have that as much competition. I've never done that, so I'm not speaking from experience here, but just like from just thinking through it, like what I would do my first time, I would probably go in March. So as soon as you start seeing the Bermuda, there's like that green haze over the lawn where the Bermuda's trying to wake up and trying to dominate. It's time to say goodbye to the rye. So I would wait till March to do that. Because right now your lawn is probably still green, right? The whole reason behind doing rye is that you're green year round. So Bermuda's definitely not going to be fully out of dormancy yet. So if you spray it out now, you're going to end up with a brown lawn, which is, probably not what you were going for with the rye. So hopefully that helps answer your question. All right. Note here from Bermuda Brian. He says, at Ron Henry, I did my soil test today. Congratulations, sir. It's in the mail. Real mower at the shop being serviced. I can almost smell that good old yellow Georgia pollen. I'm gonna check go check out your favorite site one. Very cool, man. Sounds like you're doing all the right stuff. Yeah, so you got your soil test in, and you got your mower being serviced. So Brian, if you're gonna be scalping, what are you gonna be using to scalp with? Because we don't want to take that fresh sharpened reel and go scalp with it. You're going to be taking it back to the shop to get it sharpened again. So hopefully you have a rotary or can borrow one, or you might even rent one just to scalp your lawn. If you're planning to do that, not everyone scalps their lawn, but if you decide you're going to do that, I would make sure I do not do that with with your freshly sharpened rotary. Like my True Cut, I purposely have not sharpened it as yet because it's going to maybe late next month when I hit it with the scalp, getting ready for Bermuda to come out of dormancy and start doing its thing. After that is when it will go in for service. So yes, all right. Let's see here. So Seth B, what's up, lawn nerds? What's up, Seth? Thanks for coming to hang out. And then Bermuda Brian is saying, Hydretain, you have to water before application and water after applying. Thank you, Bermuda Brian. I appreciate the feedback on it. Good tip. I will keep that in mind whenever I put the product down. So yeah, and then let's see. Steven Velasquez is giving you a tip. The person that asked earlier about keeping weeds out of your mulch bed. He says, use black tarp on your flower beds and cover with mulch. That can help. That can help. But I mean, depending on, if the tarp, if you're using tarp, it probably won't punch through tarp. But if you're using any of that, like that cloth, that fabric type material, that stuff typically doesn't work very well as far as keeping weeds away long term. So just something to keep in mind. Guys, if you are enjoying the live stream, be sure to hit that like button, punish the like button, let YouTube know that we are having a good time here talking about lawn care stuff, because we can't get out and mow our lawns, or being lawn care nerds. So hit the like button. I would most appreciate it. And if you're not yet a subscriber, consider subscribing. I do my best to put out quality content. I promise I won't put out garbage for you guys. So if you're not yet a subscriber, consider hitting the subscribe button ever so gently. I would really appreciate it. All right, Seth B. Ron, any experience with PGR on shrubs? Actually, yes, I do have experience with PGR on shrubs. I like it because I hate doing shrubs that much. I actually spray PGR on shrubs. The ones that you guys saw my video, my live stream that I did, like the ad hoc one where I was trimming the shrubs to get rid of the shade in the back lawn. I didn't actually film it, but or I shouldn't say it, yeah, I didn't film it and like make a video on it, but the following day I mixed up some T-Nex and I sprayed the shrubs with it. I sprayed all the shrubs that I trimmed, and I sprayed the one in front. But yeah, you absolutely can use PGR on shrubs. It absolutely works. And you know, for me, it seems like PGR on shrubs, it seems to hold on to, it tends to regulate a little bit longer than it does on turf grass. Again, it depends on the kind of shrub you have, obviously, but I've had really good results with PGR on shrubs. The one thing you have to watch out for is that the shrubs are going to get darker. Like as far as the green, the color, they are going to get noticeably darker from putting PGR on them. But it works without issue. Now, if you're using T-Nex, if you're using anything special, there is a rate. I don't have it off the top of my head. I just use the same rate that I use on the turf, which is for Tifway is 0.38 ounces per 1,000 square feet. That's a touch strong. You could, if you're a little bit concerned, you could back it down to 0.25 ounces per 1,000 square feet and just mix up, a couple gallons of it and spray your shrubs with that. But as always, read the label. The label is going to tell you for ornamentals, for shrubs, what rate to use on that. So, but yeah, absolutely, it absolutely works. It's a good idea. I do it because I hate cutting shrubs. Let's see. So John Gotch is saying we need to have split applications on the pre-emergent. Yeah, and this thing, I thought about that, man. I thought about in the video that I did on pre-emergent, whether we should do like half rate now and then like March do another application, late March, early April. But the video I wanted to make something that for someone that's intimidated by using liquid product, using liquid herbicides, that made it as simple as possible. So versus saying, do this math and divide it in half and do half now and do another half in a couple of months, I said, we're going to do full rate. Here's how you mix it. Here's how you measure it. Here's how you apply it. Use the dye. You won't mess it up. As long as you measure the rate properly and you've got your sprayer calibrated and you walk at the correct rate, you're going to get a great result. So I totally am. I get what you're saying about split apps. I think it definitely is a way to extend the effectiveness of pre-emergent, but for someone that's just brand new, I don't want to make it any more complicated than it absolutely need to be. Maybe another video. Maybe it's another video I'll make, like a talking head one talking about split applications. But as a demonstration, I just wanted to make it easier for people. But yeah, if you understand how to do it and you're going to do the math properly, so you don't over apply or under apply, it's a good idea. It's a good idea. Let's see. So Wind Chariot is saying he got in-ground sprinkler system installed last week. The Allet just arrived yesterday. Congratulations, sir. Congratulations on the Allet. Let's take a moment to appreciate that. That is awesome. The yard's kind of a mess, but that's okay because you got the Allet. It's gonna help with that. And it needs leveling again. A lot of work ahead this spring. No pre-emergent because you're overseeding. Happy Friday. Yeah, dude, sounds like you got a lot going on, but now is the time to get sprinklers installed. If you're gonna do irrigation, like now's the time to do it. Why not? I mean, the lawn's dormant. And you already got your gear, you got your allets in, and you're just you're good to go. And then you're going to be leveling in spring. So we'll see, man. I am also going to be top dressing this year as well too, as part of overseeding. It's going to be a lighter top dress, but I'm going to be top dressing as well. So we're going to be out there both like crazy people, turning our lawns into sand lots, Wind Chariot. So it's good stuff though. It's fun. It's good stuff. I like it. Let's see. What else do we have here? Someone said, hi, Alan Lawn Care. Now, is Alan in the house? I didn't see him come in. If so, Alan, what's up? Thanks for coming to chat. It says, hey, Alan, I need to get some X. Start getting it back in stock soon. Okay. All right. Yeah. And that's the thing right now. As far as people are starting to stock up, that's another reason why I'm saying I made that video, because prediamine, typically that doesn't necessarily go out of stock as easily. But this is a relatively niche product. And I want to say that Yard Mastery is the only ones that carry this. So if you want to get yourselves some prediamine in the 5-ounce container, actually I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna hit you guys with both of them. So in the 5 ounce, the smaller, the baby container, there's that for 6,000 square feet for warm season grass. And if you want the big one, which will cover up to 96,000 square feet at the high rate for Bermuda, there are links there. But definitely, this stuff is great stuff, man. It's a really good service that they made this available in this size. So awesome. Lee said, you've never tried Lebanon turf herd. It's the best. That's why I need it. You are right, man. It's awesome stuff if you can get your hands on it. I really wish it were it were more retail, more targeted towards consumers, but I think they probably do well enough that they don't really necessarily need it as much. But yeah, it's a great fertilizer. I love it. I mean, you guys have seen I've been using it. I've been using it for years. And right now I have really no way to make any money off it. As far as like, there's tons of other fertilizers that I could be using that, there's like affiliate programs and that other people use that they like, but I just stick with the Lebanon turf stuff because I believe in it that much. I want the absolute best stuff on my turf. And in my opinion, like they make, among the best fertilizers and value for money, I think is there with the product too. So that's why I like it. Hopefully, you never know, man. Anything's possible. Anything is possible. Let's see. Jay Pompano says, Jay sometimes gives me anytime Jay comes on, I get a little nervous because him, Jay, LG, SMK, they tend to throw the tough questions at me sometimes, so let's see what he's got tonight. He says, pre-emergent. I know you said 50 degrees soil temp, but can you elaborate? Is it like the first day the temp reaches that temp or steady into that temp? Great question. So you gave me a softball. Really, once the average, once the overall soil temps are trending up to 50 degrees or higher is when you want to do pre-emergent. So in Georgia, like this week, earlier this week, we had a day in that was 70 degrees, 68, 70 degrees. So yeah, that's why we went ahead and just did Alex's lawn as well. Also because, we were starting to see some issues there with POA. And assuming there's more to germinate, I think but what's going to germinate probably already has. But in the small chance that as things get warmer, there's more going to try and come out, we put down prodiamine at full rate to try and prevent that from becoming a thing. So, but yeah, Jay, it's a good question. Really, once your soil temps are consistently in the 50s or higher, that's when you're going to want to do pre-emergent. There's no negative of doing it a touch early, but at 50 degrees is when you're going to start, when weeds are going to start waking up. That's the time it's like 50 to 55 degrees is a temperature when weeds will start germinating. That's when Milorganite starts working because that's when the microbes kind of wake up and say, hey, it's go time, guys. So that's like that's about the temperature that that the soil really begins to come alive again. So that's why that's the time to get pre-emergent down at that temperature. Maybe a little sooner is fine, but certainly if you wait much longer than that, if you wait till it's consistently in the 60s, like you're gonna get a lot more weeds than you otherwise would have had you done it a bit sooner. So if I had to choose between the two, I would err on the side of slightly sooner than too late, because then you're not going to get as much out of it. Okay, so John Gotch says, hey Ron, how do I keep my neighbor's St. Augustine grass out of my Bermuda lawn? Thanks. That's a tough one, man. Because I'm trying to think, I'm not sure if there's really a herbicide that you can use that will kill St. Augustine that won't also hurt Bermuda. I don't know if it might exist, but I've not really heard of one. Typically, Bermuda, here's what I would do. I don't know how tall you're mowing, John, but I think you asked a question about the reel mower. If you get the reel mower, you start cutting lower, like so you start cutting the Bermuda at around an inch, which is where it thrives. It's good there. Like St. Augustine won't like that. Like that's going to introduce a whole lot of stress into St. Augustine. That's going to allow the Bermuda to spread and dominate more. I can't think of anything that we can spray that's not going to also hurt the Bermuda. But what you can do is just simply cut the Bermuda at the height that it is going to thrive at, and then it's going to outcompete. It's going to put the smackdown on that St. Augustine to where the St. Aug should slowly over time. It's probably not going to happen in one season. Will slowly start going away. That's probably the best advice I could give you. Outside of that, like there's some kind of barrier you can put between your lawn and your neighbor's lawn, that might be a tough sell. That could help, but really cutting the Bermuda at the right height. If you're cutting the Bermuda at like an inch or lower, somewhere around there, that's going to help a lot, because St. Augustine just it's not going to tolerate that. Whereas Bermuda is going to really thicken up, get really dense, and that will help a lot with having the St. Augustine encroaching into your lawn. So as Jay was saying, lawn was never overseeded, and the last time I did was with turf type tall fescue with good results. Is it right to think to keep doing that for a few falls, and does it refresh the lawn, or is there a point where you don't gain much? I'm not sure of your question. Are you saying, Jay, if you should just keep overseeding with yeah, I'm not sure what you're overseeding. I'm not sure what your question. If you don't mind, give me a little bit more detail about what exactly you're asking, so I can do a better job on answering that for you. I guess if your question is overseeding should you keep overseeding until, and if it's going to help like the whatever grass you're trying to grow to become more evenly distributed throughout the lawn? If it's not everywhere, then yeah, overseeding again is going to help. For a good example, like last year I overseeded with Arden 15. It did pretty well. There's a big chunks of the lawn where it's largely Arden 15, but there's a few areas, particularly where water runs, that didn't take as well. So in that case, yeah, I'm going to overseed again this year. But once I get to the point where Arden 15 is fairly well established, in other words, I've got like a Tifway Arden blend in my lawn and it's fairly even throughout, I'm not going to overseed anymore because the lawn's going to be about, it's going to be good. So hopefully if that's the question you're asking, hopefully that helps. And there you go. And Frank, yeah, thanks, sir. I'm glad that the question about Pillar G was correct, was what you're looking for. And if you are looking to get Pillar G, Frank, shameless plug, you can pick it up there. And again, the nice thing about that is that's a good competing product to Headway G, and the one advantage it has is that you don't have to get it in, I think Headway G is in 30-pound bags, if memory serves me. You can get the Pillar G in 15-pound bags. So if you're trying to save a little bit of money, you can get that one. It's probably gonna work just as well, and you're not gonna have a bunch of fungicide laying around. So that is a good question. Michael, I think I answered that already. I don't think, if I have not looked at it, I haven't responded to you, then I probably haven't seen it. If you can, email me again. Like just take the same email in your outbox and just send it to me again, or just send me an email saying, hey, this guy from the live stream, and I'll know what to search for in my inbox so I can get you, get an answer to your question. So I'm not ignoring you or anything like that. I just honestly didn't, I must have missed it. My apologies. Let's see. What other questions do we have here? Chris Jones says, happy Friday, bud. Happy Friday to you, Chris. Hopefully all is going well. He says, what product kills post-emergent crabgrass and not my St. Augustine? I have a solution for that, Chris. Do you want granular? Do you want liquid? We're gonna go easy. We're gonna go with the granular. And you guys that are common in the live stream, that are often here, probably already know what I'm gonna say. But I'm gonna show him anyway. So it's gonna be, for a granular, super easy product to apply, is gonna be this guy. It's gonna be Weed Stop. This guy is particularly, it's both a post-emergent, so it's going to kill crabgrass that's already out there, and it's also got a pre-emergent. It's got dithiopare or dithiopare, however you pronounce it. I need to figure out what the correct pronunciation is, but that's an excellent product in that you get both a post-emergent and you also get pre-emergent in it, and it specifically is great against crabgrass. So that is what I would use on your lawn if you need to get it. I will throw a link in here. This is the one that has, this one right here that has both the post-emergent and the pre-emergent. So that's a good option for you, Chris. And that is safe on St. Aug as well. So that's a good product, and it's kind of hard to mess up. The thing about it is that one bag, depending on the size of your lawn, one bag will cover 3,000 square feet. So just based on that, you know how many you need to buy. I think that link that I sent you, that's for two, like a 2-pack from Amazon. So just pick that up. And the thing about it is the only tip to making sure that you get the most out of it if you're using it, especially for post-emergent qualities, is make sure the turf is wet. So either run irrigation on it to make sure that the crabgrass is like the leaves of the crabgrass is wet, or do what I do, just wait till the morning, and when there's morning dew out, apply it then. It's also easier to see where you went if you do that. And as always, for safety, make sure you wash out the spreader really well. Make sure you got good PPE on. I mean, this one is a relatively safe product, but still, you're dealing with herbicides. Make sure you got your gloves on, good shoes, long pants, all that jazz, and you should be good to go. That should help out quite a bit. If you need help with anything else, let me know. All right, yeah, I agree, Wind Chariot. Let's smack that like button. Let's get that done. It's free to you guys and helps me out, helps the channel out. And Jay says, let's see here. He says, love your backyard, man. What's the story with that? You're like on top of the world waiting for a helicopter to land. Love your yard. Thanks, man. You know what? It's funny. Like, it's one of the few in the subdivision. It's one of the few lawns that's that big and that flat. I think just the way, whenever they bought that plot of land, it was just one of the larger ones, and they put the house more towards the front, and it just created a really big, smooth back lawn. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's a great field. You're right. You probably could land a helicopter on it. You know, so and the kids, you know, across the street, sometimes they'll be out there, they'll run across it. Sometimes I catch them out there playing football on it. So, but it's cool, man. It's that's what it's there for. It's Bermuda. They're not going to hurt it, right? So, but again, thank you so much. I'm glad that you really enjoy the lawn. I really appreciate it. Looks like we got a super chat here. I got to make sure I got to take care of that. From Papa Mo's Low.
Super chat received.
I appreciate it, Papa Mo's Low. Thank you so much for the generosity. Thank you so much. Now the hard part. Now when I scroll back, I got to go back and find where it goes. So Bo is saying that Kentucky bluegrass rules for us in Maryland. I agree, man. It's a beautiful grass. Like KBG rye, as far as like laying down stripes, tough to beat. Tough to beat. Gentlemen, everyone, we have a celebrity in the house. Alex has decided to take a few moments out of his day to grace us with his presence. What's going on, Alex? Hopefully everything's going well. You know, Alex is you know, if you guys have not seen how quickly a lawn can turn around, check out the Fix My Ugly Lawn series. Like you just go to, you know, Ron Henry YouTube, just to fix my ugly lawn. There's like a 15 video series that shows everything we did to transform his lawn from like, you know, a typical lawn to a pretty awesome lawn. So, and he was mowing like a crazy man, you know, out there all the time to really make it happen. So yeah, definitely check it out. It was a fun series to make. And if you need some inspiration of what's possible, check out Alex's lawn, which is cool. Doug, yes. I think I answered this already, but yes, I'll revisit it. So any consideration with putting growth regulator on shrubs? I have a ton of T-Nex and I hate trimming my shrubs. You absolutely should put T-Nex on your shrubs. The only thing I would tell you is check the rate, check the label. I know for my particular shrubs, anywhere between 0.25, like a 0.25 rate is fine on my shrubs. I mean, I can apply that with no issue, and there's no issues with it. But check the label. If there's any, you know, special shrubs that you need to go lower for, you know, that's it'll be listed on there. 0.25 is generally pretty safe though. 0.25 ounces. Do not go heavy. Like 0.25 ounces per gallon per 1,000 square feet. So if you have a ton of shrubs and you need to fill up the sprayer all the way, and you have a 4-gallon sprayer like the Typhoon 2, you're going to want to put 1 ounce of T-Nex in with that 4 gallons of water. So just know that depending on how much you're putting down, that's how much you need to, you know, just multiply the number of gallons by 0.25, and that's going to let you know how much to apply. Great question, Doug. And yeah, like you, I dislike shrubs because I just don't like. It's a mess. You know what it is? Cutting them isn't bad. It's all the cleanup, man. Picking up all the things and you have leaves all over the place. Just makes a mess. Hate doing shrubs. Any experience with a new PGR? It's a dry product. I've not used that lawn radiance. It might be something to try out this year. Maybe not on my lawn, but maybe we'll try something. Maybe try it somewhere else. You never know. Maybe. Well, that's a good question. I have been getting some questions about granular PGR versus liquid. I will tell you that liquid PGR's for value for money, it's like not even close. Like you're going to get way more coverage out of a liquid PGR like T-Nex than you will out of most granular products. But I get it from an ease of use. Like it's hard to beat a granular. For liquid, you got to get a backpack sprayer and understand like calibration and walking speed and all this kind of stuff. But for granular, you literally just, get it, set the sprayer, set the broadcast spreader and go to town. But that's a good question. I don't know how effective they are. I imagine they probably work pretty well, but it's something to test out this season. I'll see if I can figure out a way to do that for you. And the product you're mentioning is a new. So let me make a note of that to talk about. That might be a good, that's be some good content, and we'll answer a question for somebody. So when someone asks me, hey, what about a new PGR? I'll be able to say, thanks to Lawn Radiance, we have an answer for that. So let's see what else we have here. Great question, sir. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. On the lawn training, he's chiming in. He says, Ron, a little different of a question, but do you have any recommendations on lawn care footwear? I just wear tennis shoes. So that's actually an excellent question. For mowing the grass or mowing the lawn, I just use tennis shoes, and that works pretty well for me. If you're applying herbicides, you guys probably saw how fashionable I was in my boots for the pre-emergent and the image video. If you're applying herbicides and really even PGR, you really should wear like rubber boots. Any kind of liquid products is a good idea to wear rubber boots. If for nothing else, even if you're dealing with a product that isn't necessarily that's not toxic. Like even if you're not applying you're applying like the carbon soil amendments. The issue is if you get that stuff on your tennis shoes, like you have to go wash them then, right? So I wash my tennis shoes. It doesn't really bother me that much. But if you're not a person that washes your tennis shoes very often, investing in a pair of rubber boots, you can get some from Home Depot. You can order some on Amazon. For under $50, you can get a pair of boots that you can wear for when you're applying liquid products that you can just simply hose off and leave in the garage and you're good to go. But for mowing, I just wear tennis shoes. That tends to work well for me. It's comfortable. They're easy to get on and off, and it works well. So yeah, hopefully that helps answer your question. No real preference there. One thing I would say is definitely wear shoes. I see some people mowing with with just barefoot, and I guess you can do it. You can do it, especially with a real mower. There's probably a little bit less risk because it's throwing everything forward for the most part. But you need to wear. You should wear shoes. Wear something when you're mowing your lawn. If you might step on a twig and get something, or just make sure you wear shoes for sure. It's a good idea. So Jeff is chiming in. He says, "Hey, have you considered adding a verticutter to your mower fleet?" You know what? I've thought about it, Jeff. This year I am going to be verticutting because I need to thin out the lawn properly to get the most out of overseeding. I'm definitely verticutting this year, and I want to see what kind of a difference it makes, especially as summer heat hits and the lawn is really growing and it gets really thick. I want to verticut it to make sure that I'm still getting a quality cut and just doing the things that will help me preserve the look of the lawn as much as possible. As far as owning one, the thing is, as far as verticutters go, you get like a Klassen, like that's not bad, but I think those are close to, I want to say they're probably under $2,000. If you buy one brand new, they're somewhere between $1,500 to $2,000. And the thing is, most of them don't come with the cutting unit, right? They come with like the power rake thing. So that's a big ask. For me, I'm probably just going to rent it, mainly because it'd be just one more piece of equipment that I have to find somewhere to put. It's just I will see. We'll see. I mean, it might be worth owning one, but for me, I'd probably only be verticutting in late April, May, June, July, maybe August. So 5 times a year. It's not going to be used nearly as much as my mower is going to be used. So it's probably financially probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have it, especially mainly because I have nowhere to keep it. That's not going to be a hassle, but this year I am going to be verticutting. You are going to see that. I might see if I can get my hands on a Swordman and try that out on the lawn. See how that works out. But a dedicated verticutter, I'm not really sold on it at this point, as yet. If I can find a smoking deal on one, maybe, but I don't want to. It's hard to just justify $2,000 tied up that you're only going to use 5 times a year. All right. LG LG says Alexander's really great camera work in the latest video. He did a really good job, man. Alex is good, man. He's in there doing the zoom and everything. Alex was on point with his cameraman skills. He was good. And he's saying, "Thanks, brother. You have no idea how heavy that Ron is. Ron is much stronger than he looks. That thing is every bit of 40 pounds. It's pretty heavy. I can't easily get it now without off the stream, but it's got. I mean, you've got like a sound recorder on there, camera, monitor. It's pretty. It's not light for sure. I'm just used to it. I guess I'm just used to holding it out. I'm just used to having the camera out there. So, but yeah, it is heavy. It's probably a little bit insane to be carrying that around, but it makes pretty pictures, makes pretty videos, and it catches good audio. So that's the sacrifice I make for you guys to make sure this stuff looks and sounds good. So, but Alex, thank you so much. I appreciate you helping out, man, with being the camera guy. I appreciate it. Robert is chiming in. He says, "Hey, do us a favor, and let us know when you see Alex's POA start to turn." There's going to be follow-up video on that for sure, guys. Definitely, that's already planned. Like when it starts to turn, and here's what you can expect. In 2 weeks or so, when image should be kicking in and should have been, you start seeing some yellowing. I'm gonna video that so we can kind of what I do with the Fix My Ugly Lawn series. I'll say, hey, we sprayed the POA with image. Here we are a couple of weeks down the road. This is what it looks like now, and then let's look at it 3 to 4 weeks down the road from the time I sprayed when it's fully dead. So yeah, I'm gonna do a little series on that so you guys can see the effectiveness. The effectiveness of using image. You're saying you use yours for Tribute, and it's going on 3 weeks, and I see nothing yet. Use your surfactant as well. Tribute Total is a great herbicide, man. I'm surprised you're not seeing results quite yet. But if you applied it at rate, it's very likely going to work. Tribute Total is like a really, really good herbicide. It's expensive for a reason, so I wouldn't worry. I think you're probably gonna get the result. Just be patient. That's the thing with Image, man. Image, it's patience is the name of the game. That, unless you want to get into one of the more commercial grade herbicides like what's good for like Negate or Monument. That's Image is pretty much the name of the game in town. Negate is not terribly expensive, but if you are following the instructions on the bottle, you're supposed to mix all of it. You're supposed to take like that entire container and pour it into like a gallon of fluid. So you make like an intermediate mix because there's several different types of granules in there to make sure that you are getting the product adequately suspended and that the mix is like at the right concentration. You're really supposed to mix all of it at one time. And then that mix, that 1 gallon mix that you have only lasts for 4 weeks thereabouts. It's not like a month. So unless you've got a ton of land to apply it to, you're going to end up wasting it, and having to dispose of it is kind of a hassle. And then Monument, you don't have to do that, but Monument's also very expensive. Like it's a very good herbicide, but it's also pricey. It's like it's going to be compared to Image, it is a lot more expensive. It works faster, but it's a lot more pricey. So if you can be patient, Image is probably the best way to go for that. Unless you're like in the lawn care business. And you can write some of this stuff off, or you're treating a bunch of lawns where people want to see results quickly, then using one of those more expensive ones makes sense. But if you're just doing it for yourself, I would just use Image. Let's see here. So Edward Bonet chimes in. He says, "Hi, Ron, in New Jersey, here in the house. Would you apply a pre-emergent and biostimulants at the same time? Aerate humic acid, for instance." There's no negative to really doing that. The thing I would do if you're going to apply anything else with the prodiamine, I'm assuming you're using prodiamine, you're going to want to do a jar test. So what a jar test is, you're going to take some water and you take a little bit of the product of, like, say, prodiamine, and you're going to take whatever else you're trying to use here, which is, I guess, the aerate or humic acid, and you're going to add that to it, and then you're going to agitate it, and you're going to see if it settles out or if it clumps up or it has some kind of weird reaction before you mix up 4 gallons of this stuff. So the prodiamine actually on the label, if you read the label, it tells you how to do a jar test with it. So read that. But the short answer to your question is yes, you can mix products and you can apply them. Just make sure you jar test it to make sure you're not going to have any kind of weird reactions. A good example, like whenever I apply PGR, it's rare that I apply just only PGR. Like typically when I do that, there's a PGR going down, there's a micronutrient, and also a carbon soil amendment. Typically it's at least 2 things, typically 3 whenever I'm spraying, because I do the PGR monthly, so I could also do my carbon at the same time too. So yeah, you can mix them, just test it to make sure, because I've not used any of the products that you've mentioned there, so I can't say for sure whether you're going to have a problem with those if you were to mix them. Let's see. Michael Harmer says, "If I don't clean my mower deck after cutting grass, can it be a carrier for weeds?" Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes, it can. So that's a good point. The one thing I didn't mention, I thought about that after the video. When it comes to POA, if you've got Poana in your lawn, Poana, annual bluegrass, same thing, and you're mowing, if you can avoid mowing it, that's probably the best thing. But if you are going to mow it, you're going to want to bag the clippings. You don't want to like mow it and blow the stuff all over the place, because you could be spreading it around. One thing that people also often find is that if you have like a lawn care service cut your lawn, something that you have to think about is whatever other lawns that mower was on, like before it got to your lawn, if they have like a lawn fungus issue or there's certain weeds, like that's a way that stuff can get introduced into your lawn. So absolutely, cleaning your mower deck out after cutting it is, if you're only mowing your lawn with it's less of a big deal, because it's only staying on your lawn, right? It's not really going anywhere else to pick up other stuff. But it's still just good practice. Like I hose off my real mower after I'm done with it, just to keep it clean. It also gives me a chance to look over it and see if anything's weird going on with it. But if you're just for your lawn, not strictly necessary, I think it's a good idea to do anyway. But if you're cutting multiple lawns, you absolutely want to do that to avoid transferring whatever's going on in one lawn to another. So just something to consider there, Michael. Great question. That's a great question. Grace is in the house. Hey, Grace, thanks for coming to chime in and hang out in the live stream a little bit. I really appreciate it. And so other people are confirming as well. Law and Order SC saying that getting in the habit of cleaning your mower after every time is it's a good practice, and definitely with POA, you're gonna wanna do that. If you look at some of the other videos on treating POA, I think they mention that. They mentioned that mowing, if you're mowing it, bag the clippings, and so you don't spray the stuff all over the place. And ideally, if you have a warm season grass, just don't mow it. Like, go around it. Just try not to mow that stuff. Don't do anything to try and where you'll spread it anywhere else. That would be my best advice. All right, and then Michael Harmer saying, he says, I plan on taking care of my front yard because my backyard is 13,000 square feet of weeds and dirt and holes from the dogs. That's gonna be a project to get that all cleaned up, Michael. So yeah, just doing the front lawn is not gonna be as bad. Like I don't know how big your front lawn is, you didn't say, but yeah, my recommendation would be to bag clippings, and if not, avoid mowing the POA in the first place. See what other questions we have here from Papa Mo's Low. He says, I know you're overseeding this year, so your usual process will be different. But what's your typical schedule look like for pre-emergent? February, I don't know what, 10. Oh yeah, February, 10, 2 weeks later, fungicide, 2 weeks later, etc. Yeah, so pre-emergent late February, or within February, early March the latest, but really in February is when I would do it, is when I'm doing it. And then a fertilizer, like a starter for it. So in last season, I'd use Milorganite as my waking up the lawn. For this year, I'll probably be using something different. You guys have to stand by to see what that's going to be. But as far as a schedule goes, I think I got you covered here on Papa Mo's Low. Let me send you to my blog. I'll put this link in here so you can actually see. I have a schedule here that tells you exactly like what I do and what I would do as far as when to apply pre-emergent, when to apply fungicide, all this stuff. Really, the fungicides, I try and get that stuff down in late March, early April at the latest before temperatures get kind of warm. But if you're interested, go there. Link is just in the chat right now. And you'll see, just scroll down to the fungicide section and a list of products that I use, links to where you can pick them up, all that jazz. And at the very bottom, there's a calendar or like a mile calendar that actually shows like this each month what I do and when. So that should be helpful as far as letting you know what my process looks like. Cool. And then John says, you're not in Georgia, you're in Lafayette, Louisiana. Man, you probably get that good crawfish etouffee there. I don't know why I thought you were in Georgia. I'm not sure why. But yeah, well, welcome, John. I'm glad to know now I know where you are, so I'll try not to make that mistake in the future. And then Super Tay saying his Owlet mower will be in his possession hopefully Sunday. Weather, pending weather. Dude, that's awesome. Definitely post to Instagram and let us know when you get it in. Worst case, let me know it's in the live stream. Like if you come to the live stream next week, definitely, there's got to be applause in order when a new reel mower comes into the household. So definitely let everyone know when that happens. And Bermuda Brian saying, you've been killing me. I just got my McLean. Dude, listen, here's the thing. I am not hating on the McLean. I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with McLean. Listen, any reel mower is a good mower. Really. I mean, the thing is, a McLean is a reel mower. So if you're cutting Bermuda with it or cutting Zoysia with it, is going to allow you to get a much better result than cutting it with a rotary. So it's not, don't take it that I am hating on the McLean. I'm just answering the question based on what people are telling me, based on what my experience, based on what I've seen. But can you get a good cut with a McLean? Yes. Is it going to look way better than a rotary? Absolutely. On Bermuda, because I also have to qualify that. On like a grass that's designed to be cut low, that thrives at lower heights, McLean's going to do a great job. So don't feel bad about your mower or anything like that, just because I don't have one. And again, even if I say that it's not necessarily the mower that I would necessarily go with, that's just my opinion. Doesn't mean I'm right about everything. If you like your mower and you're enjoying it, just roll with it, dude. I'm not the end all be all on mowers. You should talk to. If you talk to Lee, like when he's on here, the guy from Reel Rollers, next 2 weeks from now, you should. If you think I like mowers, you should just say real mower and just step back, and the flood of information that's going to come out is going to be interesting. So he'll share. Ask him that question. Whenever he's on the live stream, I'm sure he likes all mowers, but he'll be able to give the pros and cons of all of them. So, but yeah. All right. So Michael Carmer says, I'm excited to start mowing more often this year, but I don't think I'll ever get to that real mower life. Hey, I hear you, Michael. The thing with real mowers, right? It's easy for us to say, get a real mower. They're awesome, but it's a commitment, man. It's a whole another level of commitment. It's not only in cutting your grass more frequently, but also the service, right? Like when you have to go out and, annually, at least once a year, once per season, you're going to be taking it out to get it sharpened up. So there's just more involved with it. And if you're not someone that truly enjoys mowing grass and you have the time to do it, it's probably not the best idea. Because here's the thing, it's really cool to look at my lawn and say, or like lots of other lawns and say that, half an inch or 3/4 of an inch, they look awesome. It looks like a golf course. But the problem is with that is when you're cutting your lawn at those heights, like golf course fairways, like you have to do the same stuff that golf courses do, which is they cut them a lot. Like really, even with PGR, even with growth regulator on my lawn, I'm still cutting the lawn at least minimum twice a week, minimum. Really more like 3 times a week. So, the thing with real mowers, just realize that you are signing up to mow a lot more because it's not necessarily because real mowers demand that, it's because the turf demands that if you're cutting it at lower heights. If you're following that 1/3 rule, when you get down to half an inch, 1/3 of half an inch is, what is it? Do the math, 0.17, somewhere thereabouts. So you have a whole lot less growth that you can get before you got to take that off. So you don't get like brown stuff versus if you're keeping the lawn at, 1.5 inches, you can technically take, I guess half an inch off. I wouldn't do that much, but you could probably take half an inch off and not necessarily get a too bad of a result. So the lower you mow, the more serious the commitment is. So I totally get it. But tell you what though, man, if you ever get one, and you have the time to do it, you will never look back. You'll never look back. It will change your turf life. Kevin D. Yeah, it was SMK. You're right. It was SMK that was on the John Deere that had the question about that. Yep. So great. Thank you for letting me know. So SMK, if you're on the live stream, Jerry Pate will take care of a John Deere. And if you do that, ask for Joey. But yeah, I know someone asked me that, and you should be good to go. And then Jose A saying, you listened to Doc, didn't you, at Bermuda Brian? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure. I guess does Doc like McLean's? I mean, again, there's nothing, guys. I do not want to get branded as like, Ron is like the real mower snob and hates like McLean's. I don't hate McLean's. Any real mower is properly set up is going to create a good result. So there you go. Papa Mo's low. He says he's picking up his Swordman in 2 weeks from today. That's awesome. Congratulations, sir. And Flowzone is offering 5% off on the first order online. That's kind of cool. You can save a little bit of money. I mean, I would appreciate it if you use the link that I put graciously in the chat for you guys, but I can't offer 5% off, so I can't, I can't argue with that. But if you are feeling like being generous and you're going to get the sprayer anyway, and 5% isn't that much to you, you can use that. But it's hard to beat a little 5% off the cost of that sprayer. At any rate, just get the sprayer. The Flowzone Typhoon 2 is an awesome bit of kit, and if you are on the fence about getting one, you should get it. Cool. I can just tell you that you will not regret it. Let's see what other questions we have here. So Lawn Journeys is saying, Ron, you convinced me after last discussion. I ordered the Flowzone Typhoon 2 earlier this week, eagerly anticipating delivery. You're gonna like it, man. I tell you what, when you take it out of the box, it has the same feeling. How can I say it? It's like the True Cut for backpack sprayers. That's the best way that I could say it. So if you've not used the True Cut, then it's hard to quantify that. But if you use the True Cut, or you've used like a Greensmaster, like they're both built like tanks. Like they're just you feel like you can, like, you're paying for some of the weight when you buy these mowers, right? The Typhoon 2 has that same feeling. It's just really, really well constructed. The padding is really nice. The wand is really nice. It's a really good piece of equipment. I mean, it's really worth it. If you can spend the extra money, I'd recommend it. If not, the Chapin is also a good sprayer. Like, I mean, I used the Chapin for 3 years. I still have mine, but I've used it for like 3 years, and that's still a good sprayer too. So, and if you're on the fence and you want to get a Chapin, there is a link there for that. But I mean, of the two, if you can spring for it, go for the Typhoon 2. I've given you guys already, I think, the calibration data for all of them. Like, I've done tests on the Chapin, on the Flowzone Typhoon 2 at both rates, and just for your edification, I think I got notes here. Yep. Okay. So for the Chapin, if you have a Chapin, to kind of save you the time, so you have to do a calibration test if you don't feel like doing it. For the Chapin, for 1,000 square feet, it's 160 seconds to walk 1,000 square feet because it's much lower pressure. It's like it's 35 to 40 psi, if memory serves me. The Flowzone Typhoon 2 at the lower rate, so 70 psi, you're going to have 106 seconds to walk 1,000 square feet. And then at the 115 psi rate, the rate that I sprayed Alex's lawn with, you got to be moving. It's 91 seconds for 1,000 square feet. So the big thing that the Flowzone gives you, in addition to just being a really quality piece of equipment, is time. It saves you time. You can just really get out there and you can lay the product down and move on. So that's the big thing there. But congratulations, Lawn Journey. I think you're really going to enjoy it once you get it. That's pretty awesome. Bermuda Brian says he has the recycler to scalp with. That's pretty cool. Very, very, very nice. Very nice. Let's see what other questions we have here. Trin Dave says, no pre-emergent yet. I'm planning on overseeding my common Bermuda with Arden 15. I have an Owlet Liberty 43 coming next week. When can I start real mowing the new grass seed? Well, not when it's grass seed. So when you want the lawn to be established somewhat. So you guys are going to get to see me suffer tremendously during the month of May and into June, because I'm not going to be able to mow the lawn for probably 2 weeks, maybe 3. Because really, to get for the Arden 15 to germinate, it germinates faster than Princess 77. So 7 to 10 days when it should start coming in. If I do everything right, if I get everything set up properly, within 10 days I should start seeing it come in. But really, so for it to get rooted well and not be pulling the new grass out whenever I mow it, you really want to give it a solid 2 to 3 weeks, maybe even a little longer. I mean, 3 weeks is probably as long as I'm gonna be able to contain myself, but longer is better. Three weeks is I'd say the minimum that you want to wait, Trin Dave, as far as when you would want to mow it. You'll know. You'll be able to look at the turf and you'll see the grass and just see if it's if it's growing, how it's growing, and then you can cut it. But don't be out there like the following week or as soon as you see it germinate, be out there mowing it. You don't want to damage all that hard work and money that you put into to overseeding the lawn. So there you go. And then let's see. Lawn Whisperer says, I'm here for the stripe action. What's going on, Lawn Whisperer? Thanks for chiming in tonight, man. Yep, in my business, you were absolutely right. That Alex and I both hate shrubs. Yeah, Lawn Whisperer's in the house, and everything. Let's see. And at JSMK is saying, look at the 5-year average on Syngenta for soil temps on the website. And I think there was a question earlier on soil temperatures. So there you go. Let's see. So Static Alpha says he got his Arden 15 yesterday. Super excited. That's cool, man. I need to get my order in. You guys better not go buy it all up to where I can't get it. When I go to overseed, I need to go and get some, because you guys are starting to get on the Arden 15 train. You guys gonna do the Arden 15 with like Alan did for Milorganite, where you can't get the stuff, or they start marking it up, and I can't afford to put it down. So I need to go and get my order in with all you guys are saying here. But yeah, man, Static Alpha, I'm glad that you got it. Congratulations. And yeah, there we go. Let's see what else we have here. Other questions? Yeah, Jeff already answered that. Yep, I did. I don't know about necessarily adding one permanently. I probably will rent one, or I will see if I can get my hands on a Swordman to do some verticutting with. But thanks for that. Stephen Eckert asks, love the quality of your live stream. What software are you using for it? So great question, Stephen. I am using Ecamm Live. It's some streaming software from Ecamm. That's who makes it. It's really good stuff. As far as but here's the thing. Here's the only negative to it is that you have to. I believe it's only for Mac. It's only for a Mac. The nice thing about it is that everything just pretty much works. As far as being able to like bringing you guys up on here, like putting you up on the screen whenever you ask a question, like all that stuff is just built into it. And if you are going to get it, again, I never really promote this because no one really asked that question, but if you're going to get it, you can go here and use that. It's awesome software. You can use OBS. You can use like OBS. I think is free, but it's a lot more work, a lot more setup involved in getting it to set up right. Like this stuff, literally, you install it and it just works. I think George is using the same thing too. So if you like Princess Cut Lawn Care's live stream as well, I think he's using the same software. So if you have a Mac, the way to go is Ecamm Live. I think there is a cost for it, but it's like it's not that much. And as far another big benefit to it is that it has an interview mode. So if you ever decide you're going to have someone on, you can bring someone into the live stream really easily. So just for all those reasons, I love it. And then that software coupled with like the capture card that I'm using and the camera, and all that comes together is what makes it all work. So it's definitely not inexpensive, but produces a pretty good result. So thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so Lawn to Learn says, Guy said triple 30 Fert kills St. Aug and not Bermuda last week. He said that, I guess you could try it. A triple 30 is a lot. That's a lot of nitrogen. I mean, I guess that's one way to go about it. I guess you're going to burn it out, but you're also going to cause the Bermuda to grow like crazy. That's something to consider. Sure, SMK will come in here and chime in. Hey, Princess Cut Lawn Care, he's in the house. So what's going on, George? I'm doing well. Thanks for coming to hang in. And as always, SMK with the answer. He's saying that Chlorec will smoke out St. Augustine, but maybe a physical barrier or low mold might work better. There you go. So there's your answer to your question. I figured like one of the herbicide experts would jump in here and say something about it. But yeah, I mean, my big thing, kind of like what SMK was saying, is to just mow lower. If you ask me what I would do, I would mow lower, because that naturally is going to cause grief for the St. Augustine, and the Bermuda is going to be like all day, every day. Let's go, So yeah. Ryan Byers says, "Hey Ron, what are you putting down your first fertilizer app coming out of dormancy? It's probably going to be late February, early March. I've heard a variety of answers in regards to how much to put down, splitting the app, when to put it down, all this kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, there's really no wrong answer, Ryan. Really, if you want something that's super safe, you can use like Malorganate or use like a lower percentage nitrogen granular. Like that's going to be fine. But really, the issue with the thing with why it's not as that big a deal, especially coming out of dormancy, is that the air temperature isn't as high as yet, and the soil temperatures aren't as high as yet. So as far as the ability of like microbes to break down whatever you apply and make it available to the grass, as that also coupled with like the heat that also is going to make like Bermuda or warm season grass grow vigorously, like neither of those things are really there yet. Like the things are just slowly starting to ramp up. So what you apply doesn't necessarily matter as much. Like this last season I used Malorganite and it worked great. But something under 15% nitrogen is probably a good bet. That's what I would use. I'll definitely let you guys know as I get closer what I'm going to be going with. I think you guys might like it. It's going to be something kind of cool. I hope. But yeah, I will. You will definitely know if you guys follow the live stream and you follow the YouTube channel. I will definitely let you guys know what I'm going to be applying. Coming out of dormancy, coming on late March. I'm sorry, late February, early March. All right. So Lawn to Learn says, Lawn celebrities be like, "Oh, you gonna watch Ron? Yeah, I need content ideas. Yeah, whatever, man." There's a lot of these. Most of these guys on here have a much bigger following and are better at this stuff than I am. So yeah, they don't need me for ideas. DJ Kid, what's going on, man? Thanks for chiming in. I appreciate for you hanging out in the live stream. I know you've been busy, man. I think you're up in New Jersey, right? But glad to see that you're still around and doing well. Good, glad to see it. Glad to hear it. I think there's a super chat down here I need to find. Let me do that from Mr. LG.
Super chat received.
He says, "I dig this. Had the hashtag Stripe Action shirt. My shirt has given me more confidence at work, improved my sales, and made me more attractive at the gym." That. You know what? I believe it. Most people, are not going to see the correlation, LG, but it's definitely there. It's definitely there. I could see how the Stripe Action shirts. And if you guys, shameless plug, try to pay the bills here. Shameless plug. If you are in the market for your very own Stripe Action shirt, it comes in green, in Stripe Action green, and also available in black that has the Ron Henry logo right here on it as well. If you want that, go here to youtube.com/Ron Henry/store. I don't really talk about the store that much, but if you want a Stripe Action shirt or sticker or hats, you can get it there. And I'm glad, LG, that it's definitely helping out, and it's because I wear it around the house sometimes, and just when I want to feel like a boss, So I'm not surprised that you're getting more productivity even in things that are not lawn care related. It's pretty awesome. All right, so let's see what other questions we have here. So Tim says he had some trees removed. Says I had some trees removed years ago, and now I have holes. I fill the holes in with soil, and months later, it looks as if I did nothing. Any recommendations? Okay, Tim. So, depending on how big a hole we're talking about, what I would do is assuming there's no sod over the area, I would probably add the soil. Get like what do you call it? One of those stamper things. It looks like a flat plate, a weighted flat plate, and compact the soil like in the area where the tree used to be, and don't and wait, let it settle a little bit before you apply sod again, before you put the sod back down, because the soil does settle over time, but I mean, if you do a good job compacting, it shouldn't be that bad. It shouldn't be like where you put the stuff down and then it turns into like an 8-inch dip, unless here's something that could be causing a problem. If when you had the trees removed, there was still a lot of the root or trunk underneath there, and if that slowly, as that rots away, that could cause a depression. I could see that happening. But if you went 100% soil, it shouldn't be dropping that much. I mean, there should be some settling, but it shouldn't be like a night and day, like again, like 6-8 inches type thing. In that case, so just hey, so let me know what you did as far as after this tree was removed, any like treatment you did to the soil as far as like making sure it was compacted, and I can see if I can help you out some more. But that's an odd one. The only thing I can think of is if you still had a lot of the root system left in there, and that possibly caused a problem. But great question. Princess Cut saying John Ware made a video where he applied PGR to his shrubs. I'm thinking I'm going to try it out. I'm not sure it was T-Nex. I think it was a PGR made just for shrubs. T-Nex will work on shrubs. But yeah, I know I've used it all throughout last year. I've used it on shrubs with no problem whatsoever. I've done it for a couple of years now. So I know T-Nex for sure, like Trinexapac Ethyl will work just fine on shrubs. If you're using something else like, what's the other one? Paclo, the one with the paclobutrazol, like a Tide Paclo, like that one. I don't know that one on shrubs, how it will work so well, but T-Nex absolutely works well on shrubs. But as always, check the label. And if you're using something that is special, like, if there's any special shrubs, special ornamentals that it can't be or should not be used on, it will be listed on the label. So just make sure you check that out. Let's see what other questions we have here. Like lawn order SC is working on a promo video. Definitely let us know when you get that done, man. And ping me on Instagram so I can see whenever you get your stuff together and you're ready. You're launching. It sounds like you lost a business. So that's cool, man. Hopefully it goes well. Wind Chariot, that is left to be seen. What starter fert will I use? This year it will not be Milorganite. I will tell you that much. It's still left to be seen which fert I will use, but you guys will know. The people on the live stream will likely know before anybody else. So just keep tuning into the live stream, and I'll probably be talking about that here as well as on the YouTube channel as well. But I'll probably first talk about it on the live stream once I make up my mind on what it's going to be. I have a pretty good idea, but I want to make sure first before I come out and say what it's going to be. Let's see. Jared Alwyn says, Ron, what do you think about the Swarming Electra? Love the videos. I've never used one. I talked to Lee in the video. I think you guys saw the video on Real Rollers that we spoke about the Electra. I mean, it's cool. It's a cool idea. I think that if you are a person that's on that electric lawn care products like if you are on the what's those products? The Ego. They're pretty common right now. If you have like all Ego stuff for like your trimmer and blower and all this kind of stuff, and you're looking for an electric reel mower, I mean, Swarm Electra is definitely worth looking at. I mean, if you're trying to get an electric greens mower, like, bring your wallet. They're like anything from Toro is going to be super expensive. So I think as a value proposition for someone that doesn't want to have to deal with gasoline, I think it works pretty well. I mean, having cut with the Swordman, I can't. I'm sure the Electra is going to be just fine. And I think in many ways it depends on the size of your lawn. I'm trying to remember what Lee told me. If it's what the square footage is you can get out of a mow on that. But for most lawns, it should be fine. I think from talking to him, I could even cut my entire lawn with a Swordman Electra with no issues on one charge. So I think for most people, most homeowners, it's going to work. It's going to be okay. But I have not personally used one. But if the regular Swordman is any indication, I'm sure it's going to do a great job. A great job on your lawn. Good question to ask Lee, because he'll be on here in 2 weeks. So definitely save that question and ask him when he's on the live stream. I'm sure he will be happy to chime in and tell you all the pros and cons of the Electra. And then let's see, George is chiming in. He says, an awesome little mower. Wish I could afford it. I'm using an 89 Greensmaster. See, that should tell you everything you need to know right there about Toro greens mowers. Like if George is using an 89 Greensmaster, that's like 30. was that 30 years? Yeah, so 31 years, 31-year-old mower. So, and it's still running. So that should tell you like about like the quality of greens mower. Like I wouldn't be like a greens mower is one thing, assuming it's been relatively well taken care of. As far as buying one pre-owned, like I wouldn't be concerned about that at all because they're just built like tanks. It's a precision cutting piece of commercial equipment that's designed to run like 8 hours a day every day because it's designed to be used on golf courses. So for a home lawn, it's majorly overkill, but nothing cuts like one. They're pretty awesome for that type of cut. All right, Chas Bishop says, "Hey Ron, this may be a dumb question. No such thing. And you may have had this before, but is it a good idea to keep a log on what you do to the lawn?" Yeah, it is. It's a good idea to do that. Absolutely, it's a good idea to keep a lawn log. And is it wise to switch product as soon as you see what works on the lawn? So the first part of your question, is a lawn log a good idea? Yes. In my case, I just keep it on the notes. Like I have an iPhone, so I just keep like notes on my phone. So I do it that way. But as far as switching products, as soon as you see what works, I think here's the thing, man. Once you find something that works and you like it, like stick with it for the most part. I mean, there are some things, like when you get into fertilizers, for example, right? Like if you're using like Scott's fertilizers, and there's nothing wrong with Scott's. So if anyone from Scott's is on here, don't like send me hate mail or send someone out like a hit squad on me or anything like that. But there is a difference between like many like of the lower end fertilizers, like say a Scott's fertilizer, stuff you'll see at Home Depot. And then when you get into like a Lebanon turf or like an Anderson's or some of those kind of, there is like in those cases, like when you're spending more money, you are getting a much better product, right? But once you find like a good quality fertilizer that you like, if you find a good example where like it would be like say a micronutrient, right? Let's say once you find a micronutrient you like and the numbers, the content, the makeup of it works for your lawn and your soil, I just stick with it, man. I mean, in other words, like a micronutrient that has 0.5% of iron or 0.5% of manganese is going to be, unless there's other compelling additives to it as well, like it's a micronutrient and it also has like some carbon in it, or it's a micronutrient and it also has like a little bit of fertilizer, and you want to also fertilize your lawn when you apply your micronutrient, right? A bit of nitrogen, I should say. There's not a real reason to switch. So I say if you have something that works and it's doing well in your lawn, stick with it. You can easily get into this thing of always chasing the bigger, better deal, the bigger, better product. So just use quality fertilizers, use quality equipment to apply those fertilizers, and then just cut your grass a lot, man. Like more than anything else, mowing your lawn is going to be the biggest influence to how your turf is going to look, more so than the product that you might be applying to it. Not saying products don't matter, but it doesn't really matter if you're applying great products and you're only cutting your grass once every 3 weeks. Let's see. SMK is chiming in. He's saying it's too cold to apply tribute total right now. If the POA is already visible, you'll want to use sulfur. I'm not going to even try to pronounce that. Containing a herbicide and wait till air temps. Follow up more until air temps are 60 degrees. For us in Georgia, that's likely March or April. So there you go. For the guy that is the scientist that works on lawn care products, particularly herbicides, there's your answer of what to do. So I will defer to him. If you guys haven't seen that, check out the stream. There was a stream where we had SMK on here. Actually, SMK was the very first guest I ever had the live stream. So yeah, definitely check that out. Maybe I'll see if I can convince him to come on again. I think the live stream went on for a little bit too long. So if I promise him that he'll only be on for like maybe an hour, like just a segment, we'll have like the herbicide and lawn care, like, herbicide and lawn chemicals section of the live stream. If I can promise like an hour, maybe I can get him to come on again. We'll see. Wink, wink. But yeah, he's a really, really smart guy and knows a ton about especially herbicides and their interactions and when they get the most out of them. So great. Question is, when are you buying that Swordman? I don't know. I can't. Here's the thing. I already have 2 mowers. I really can't justify a third one. I have nowhere to put it. I would, as much as I do like the Swordman, I would more quickly buy a Verticutter before I bought another mower, because I already have like mowers. I don't really need another mower, unfortunately. So there you go. Let's see what other questions here. Rolex DSSD says, John Deere, is it worth the money? Depends. Yeah. I mean, depending on what your goals are and how serious you are about getting the best possible cut. It can be like a John Deere or a Toro Greensmaster, like that's the Mac Daddy, man. That's as far as like if you want an uncompromising cut, best possible cut, if on a Bermuda on a warm season lawn, you're not going to beat a Toro or a John Deere. I am partial towards Toro because in this area there's lots of people that work on them. Getting parts for them is pretty easy, and you tend to be able to find Toros pre-owned. Like I look on Facebook Marketplace and other places for them. They tend to come up a lot more plentiful. But I mean either mower is going to be great. The one advantage over the Toro is you can remove the axles. So if you decide you're going to mow up against like some kind of a barrier, you can pull the axles off a Toro, which you cannot off the John Deere. So there's that. But as far as is it worth it? I don't know. It depends. I mean, is a Porsche worth it? It depends who you ask, right? To a person that only cares about transportation, no, it's absolutely not. For a person that wants loves the craftsmanship and wants a really like an uncompromising cut. Like, I mean, nothing, again, literally, I'll give you an example. Like with my True Cut, right? Which again, love that mower. If I check the height of cut on that mower on one side of the mower and on the other side, like there's a slight variance. Like when I lowered it down to do the light scalping that I was doing, like one side was reading like 0.55 and the other one was like right at like 0.49. So it's like a slight difference, like a 5,000ths difference between one side of the mower to the other, right? So it's like and fixing that is not easy on a True Cut. On my Greensmaster, literally after top dressing it in July, I set the height of cut to 0.75. So like that 0.75 height of cut. So it really that's like bench and then dynamic. Like was actually doing the turf is probably like 0.70. And literally when I adjusted it to take it down to half an inch, when I made that video on how to use an AccuGauge, the numbers were dead nuts exactly where I left them. Like it didn't move at all. Like from the time I set it to the time months later, tons of mowing, many hours of mowing, probably 30 hours of mowing later, like the height of cut was exactly where I set it. So that's what you're getting when you get into those mowers. But the downside of them is that like whereas with a True Cut or the Swordman, like your Swordman, you go on the side, you change the height of cut, in a few seconds you're done. On a True Cut, you have the notch system, you change the height of cut, like seconds you're done. You decide you're gonna change the height of cut on a John Deere or a Toro, you got to break out the AccuGauge. It's like everything else that's really cool. It's an event. You got to set aside time to do it. It's not hard to do, and you can do it pretty quickly once you get good at it. But it's a 5-minute, maybe 10-minute process if you're slow, versus seconds with some of these other mowers. So just realize what you're getting into. It's a whole different class of machine, and it's designed for services. Really, it's designed to be used on a golf course, which is why there's all this hassle that really goes into those types of equipment. But I highly recommend it. If you can swing it and you want the best cut, get a greens mower. You're not going to regret it. You will not regret it. Let's see, guys. What other questions do we have here? Some stuff from me on the Typhoon 2. Josh is dropping a super chat. Let me take care of that. Josh, thank you so much.
Super chat received.
I appreciate it. He says, thanks for the advice on the height of cut kit for that Toro Flex. Picked it up and dropped it right off. It dropped it right off for the kit and service. The thing weighs 1 billion pounds. Yeah, you think it's funny. You look at the Toro and it's relatively small as far as like how deep it is because the wheelbase is short, or the cutting base. Can't really call it wheelbase. But that thing, it's like you definitely get your money's worth as far as weight when you buy one of those things. And you says, can't wait to get it going. Makes my McLean feel like a paperweight. Oh, I'm glad that you got it, Josh. I appreciate the super chat. Thanks for the support. And yeah, I'm sure you'll really like it when you get your Flex all set up with that height of cut kit. That's pretty cool. Glad that you're able to get that. And then Frederick Duke says, at Ron Henry, he says, do you use a backpack sprayer? Some use a hose and sprayers. Give us some love on your videos too. Okay, yeah. So the reason why I use a backpack sprayer is because a lot of the products that I use, like PGR, you can't apply PGR, or I should say this: none of the PGRs that I use you can be applied with a hose end sprayer, and a lot of professional grade products can't be applied on a hose end sprayer. So there are some like Image. There is a ready to spray version of Image that goes on a hose end. So I did talk about that in the on the video on how to spray POA. But the problem is that a lot of the products that I use just there's not really an application rate for that. And also from a consistency standpoint, man, you really got to be careful when you're using a hose end sprayer, like, because if you think about like PGR and some of the stronger like herbicides, I'd be afraid to use a hose end sprayer for that, because you really want to make sure you only make one pass over the area. You don't want to go too heavy. So that's a lot of the reason for it. I have nothing against hose end sprayers. It's just that a lot of products I use, unfortunately, don't. There's not an easy way to apply them using that. So my apologies, but you can do image. You can get image. You can use image that way. So hopefully that helps. And the Lawn Journey says, at Frederick Duke, I've done well with hose and bottles. Yep, 20-1 ratio. Had problems spraying Next and Microgreen at my home. Also, trouble spraying all liquids, all my relatives. I'm rehabilitating my lawn. I see, that's the thing, man. It's just from a consistency standpoint, you are going to get a better result by using a backpack sprayer. I know it's an extra cost, and it's like another piece of equipment that you got to put somewhere. But as far as like your ability to apply products and just be able to do multiple things to your lawn, it's just like having more control over how it grows. You can't beat having a quality backpack sprayer. Let's see what other points we have here. Yeah, that's another thing you're saying too, right? You have low water pressure. See, that's the thing too, is that without consistent pressure, without knowing exactly what water pressure you have. Like, I think here's the thing that I would do with a hose end sprayer. Like a micronutrient, that's probably something you can put down with a hose end sprayer, because if you go a little bit heavy, you're not likely to damage or burn the turf. Like soil amendments, like the carbon soil amendments, those are things that you could probably do with a hose end sprayer and not have issues. But like fertilizers or anything like, I don't know, 10% or more, and certainly herbicides, I wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't risk it. It's just because there's too much variance. Like with a backpack sprayer, you know exactly what your pressure is going to be for the most part. You can calibrate your application rates, and you're going to get a very consistent result, and with a lot less chance of damaging the lawn by doing so. So that's a big part of why I don't really talk about that stuff as much. Caden has a question about overseeding Bermuda. It says, "Hey Ron, if I overseed my Bermuda, will it take over my turf type tall fescue? If I overseed Bermuda, will it take over my turf type tall fescue?" Well, here's the thing: if you're going to overseed Bermuda, you're kind of in luck, right? Because there are a lot of herbicides you can apply to Bermuda that will not harm Bermuda, but that will absolutely decimate turf type tall fescue. So, yes, overseeding will help. I mean, once you seed and it grows in really well, and you start cutting the Bermuda at the height that the Bermuda wants to be cut at, so like 1.5 inches or lower, that in itself is going to make the turf type tall fescue like not, it's going to cry wolf, because in the name it's designed to be mowed taller, and if you start cutting it at 1 inch, it's not going to be happy. And then you can easily also spray it out with a herbicide that is going to kill it and not harm the Bermuda. Like a good example, like Image isn't really technically rated for like getting rid of like turf type tall fescue. Like there's other herbicides that are better for like spraying out that grass type. But if you were to spray Bermuda with that, and it's absolutely gonna damage, or it's gonna seriously stunt, if not kill, tall fescue if you spray Bermuda with Image that's got fescue in it. Because it's, again, once you have different grasses, like if you have a warm season grass and a cool season grass, that's an easier problem to solve than like the question earlier where you have Bermuda and St. Augustine. Like that's a tough one. But you have tons of options, Caden, for getting rid of the turf type tall fescue. I mean, some of which is just mowing lower, and then using a selective herbicide to nuke it, if you decide to go that route. So great question. Great question. And congratulations on deciding to go to Bermuda, man. Yeah, Bermuda's pretty awesome. I like it. I am a fan. Let's see. What are the questions we have here? John Gotch says, "Why won't you use Milorganite any longer?" Now, here's the thing. I do not hate Milorganite. Like Milorganite. Don't. I want you guys to think that Ron's on the hating Milorganite train. Big reason is one, it's cost. Like I have like 12,000 square feet. So to apply it, especially during summer months when I'm like spoon feeding the lawn, I'm feeding it nitrogen monthly, it's expensive. And then just in my opinion, again, there's less people that use Milorganite, and there's nothing wrong with Milorganite, but compared to like some of the fertilizers I'm using, like the stuff from Lebanon Turf, it's just like the stuff that I'm using is just better. You've got like, especially the Country Club line, man, you got some, I mean, obviously it's got NP, it's got nitrogen and potassium in it at the rates that I like. But you also get like a little bit of iron in there, which Milorganite has, but you also get Humic, like some humic acid as well. That's also put in there as well. So it's overall, it's just a higher quality fert, and I can put down like 1.5 bags to do my entire lawn. So it's just from a cost standpoint, it just makes a lot more sense. To give you an example, like the Country Club fertilizer that I've used, I was using last year. To apply that to my entire lawn is going to be like $55-$60 for an application thereabouts, right? Probably maybe a little bit more, some of that space, right? And that one bag will do, if I do go at a lower rate, my entire lawn. Like to do an application of Milorganite is like $130, literally. Like that's how much it costs for me to do it, because like how much of it I've got to buy to do my entire lawn. So it's a cost thing. And then just frankly, the fertilizer that I found, kind of like the question that I was asked earlier about changing products. Like once I got my little taste of that Lebanon turf product, I was like, this is the good stuff. I think they were gonna have to stick with this. But I gave Milo a good send off last season. I had a good chat, a little pep talk. I've still got some Milo in the garage, so I'm gonna have to find something to do with it. I mean, I may, I don't know, I might apply it at some point, but I mean, it's just for me as a staple fertilizer. It doesn't make sense financially, and I found a product that I just like a lot better. So that's the reason why, John. If you use Milo, I'm not hating on Milo. It's a great product. It's just I just found something that works better for me for my lawn. All right, see what Josh is saying here. Josh says, when you say you're spraying everything same day, are you adding Carbon Pro L, T-Nex, etc., all to the same 4 gallons? Or are you spraying 3 different times if you have to get 3 different things down? See, you're making me give away all my trade secrets, Josh, but it's fine. It's okay. Now, and here's the thing. All of that is going to be in the course. And just, shameless plug. If you go to golfcourselawn.com, like some of the questions that Josh is talking about, like that kind of stuff is going to be in the course. But to answer your question, I spray all of them at the same time. So Carbon Pro L, T-Nex, and the micronutrient that I was using, the Brand Supreme Green, I need to kind of find a replacement for that. But like the Brand Supreme Green, T-Nex, and Carbon Pro L all play nice together. They work beautifully in a backpack sprayer. And because I spray the T-Nex, like I do PGR, I'm doing it monthly. It just makes sense. It all kind of works together. So yes, those 3 products, like T-Nex and Carbon Pro L, mixed together, absolutely nice. If you want to add, if you want to use like Brand Supreme Green as well, if you can get your hands on that, that mixes with it as well. If you decide to use a different micronutrient, do a jar test to make sure. But I do them all at one time. Like the first of the month, it's like they all go in and away you go. I have them all there lined up on the table outside, and I just measure each one, throw it in, measure each one, and then mix it, fill it, and spray. So that's So they all work. I wouldn't. So Josh, if you're planning to do the same thing I'm doing, you can do all of them all in one go. So it's a long-winded answer, but that hopefully that helps your question. Mr. Green Thumb says, "Hey Ron, can you mix Green County products with T-Nex?" I don't know for sure. I imagine you probably could. T-Nex plays nice with a lot of different products. But the best way is to do a jar test. Take a jar, put water in it, put a small amount of T-Nex, small amount of the Green County products, agitate it, and just look at it and make sure it's not like gelling or doing anything weird. The one thing I will say with T-Nex, Josh, this is kind of a tip for you, is that, and the T-Nex is the only product I have to do this for. In most cases, the general guidance is to fill the backpack sprayer halfway with water, add your products, agitate it, and then continue filling it, right? Because T-Nex foams, and again, part of that is that I'm using like a hose end sprayer, and that's like introducing oxygen, is oxygenating the water, is making it that's that helping the situation. But even just using taking the hose, the nozzle off. So I've tried it both ways. T-Nex tends to foam more than any of the other products that I use. So if you're gonna do what I'm talking about, here's how you do it. You fill the sprayer halfway with water, add anything you want to use. In your case, add like the Carbon Pro L and whatever micronutrients you decide you're going to go with, whatever liquid fertilizer you're going to use. At the halfway mark, you can agitate it, get that mixed up, get that playing nice. Continue filling the backpack sprayer till you get to about 3/4 of the way full, and then add the T-Nex, and then finish filling it, and then agitate it all, because that's going to prevent you from getting like this foam bath that you're going to get if you try and put T-Nex in it at halfway. So unless I'm just doing something wrong, I've tried it a lot of different ways. I've tried it with just water, just no pressure, just coming out of the hose, and I've tried it with a nozzle, and in both cases, T-Nex foams. This is one little tip if you're looking for how to mix all of them and still get a pretty good result. So great question. But to answer your question, Mr. Green Thumb, I don't know, but I imagine it's probably fine, but test it just to make sure, because the last thing you want to do is mix up, 4 gallons of this stuff, and then you end up with like a mess in the sprayer. It's clogging up the pump and the nozzle, all this kind of stuff. So just definitely jar test it first, but it should be fine. Let's see what other questions we have here. Michael Blanco says, Ron, I live in Miami. Very nice. I'm sure the weather's really nice there. Probably better than Georgia. Says, I installed Zoysia in certain spots of my lawn, performed recommended fertilizer, doing heavy and frequent watering, but it still looks dry and frail. Huh. Okay, Michael. So I guess the question I would ask, a couple of things we need to look at here. Zoysia is a slower growing grass than Bermuda. So as far as the time it takes to establish, it's going to be a little longer than Bermuda. And I'm assuming that in the lawn you're getting enough shade, so there's not like a bunch of trees that's preventing the new sod from getting enough sunlight so that it grows properly. If you satisfy all those conditions, it was installed properly, it's got enough sunlight, you're watering it enough. My next thing is going to be, let's see what's going on with the soil. I mean, if grass was growing, if you had turf there before and it was growing fine, the soil might be okay, but it's worth checking out. Like, consider getting a soil test done. You can go here, ron-henry.com/soil test. Get yourself a soil test and a one of these tools, like a sample tool. There's like a package that has both these in it. And in a week, you're going to know what's going on with the soil. And then once you get your results back, feel free to email me here, Ron at golfcourselawn.com. Shoot me an email there, and then I'll look at it. We can decide, what products we can, what the soil is missing to try and help correct the situation. Here's the thing: part of it is that Zoysia just grows really slow. So if it's been like a week or 2 weeks, it's just you need to give it more time. But if it's if it's been like last year you did this, and it's you're Miami, so it's probably it's fairly warm there, and it's still not growing in. Let's just cover all our bases. Let's make sure that there's nothing crazy going on with the soil. And then I'll be able to give you some recommendations on products that you can apply to help give the new turf the best possible chance of doing well. So sorry I don't have a better answer for you, but I mean, again, I think if you get a soil test done, get me those results, we'll be able to figure something out. But again, make sure that environmentally everything is where it needs to be. Enough water, obviously, and no shade. Like, even though Zoysia is more shade tolerant than Bermuda, all grass does better with sunlight, or all warm season grass anyway, does a lot better with sunlight. So, if you've got any kind of shaded areas, minimize that if you can. All right, great question. Josh Habib says, hey, Ron, when will your first PGR app go down? It will go down in April, my friend. April is when it's going to go down. That's when I typically do my first PGR app. And if you want to know, see what my schedule is going to look like, I put it all out there for you guys. I mean, if you simply go to, I think you guys don't go to the links in the description sometimes, or you don't, when I put these links so carefully into the chat, you guys just ignore them. But there at ron-henry/golf course lawn, if you go there, like at the bottom, there's 2 calendars. There's going to be one that's halfway down that's like a basic one for people that just want to get their lawn looking nice but don't want to go insane. And at the very bottom, if you make it all the way through the article, at the very bottom, there's going to be like the application calendar, pretty much what I did last year is what that is. And it talks about like what I'm applying, which months, and all that jazz. So it's all there. But to answer your question, April is when the first PGR application will go down, and that's going to be monthly until probably September, October. Depends on heat, depending on how the grass is growing, but at least through September, I'm going to be applying PGR monthly until then. So great question, man. I appreciate you asking. Tyler, what's up, Tyler? Thanks for coming into the live stream. All right, so Jamar McKinney says, will applying image right now help prevent nuts edge later in the spring, summer season? No, not really. Image is not a pre-emergent, so it'll kill any nuts edge that's germinated and that's actively trying to grow now. Probably not for nuts edge, probably a little early for that. But no. So it'll take care of POA and it will take care of nuts edge. But you'll want to apply it later on in the season to take care of nuts edge. And the thing is, the nice thing about image is that it's so it's relatively cost effective. It's not super expensive to buy. That even if you have to put it down, later on in this whenever nuts edge makes its rears its ugly head. You're not going to be, it's not going to break the bank. Like, and if you need to get image, if you don't have it already, you can go here, Jamar. But and here's the thing: if you don't want to go through like what I showed in the videos, you can use the ready to spray, the one that goes on the hose end. The rate in that, though, if memory serves me, the rate in that bottle is less. It's lower. It's like 2.5 ounces per 1,000 square feet in the ready to spray than the concentrate. So the concentrate of the two is the way to go in my opinion, because you can go up to 4 ounces per 1,000. You can mix it a little bit stronger, so you get a little bit more effectiveness against nutsedge, because nutsedge can be kind of a pain to get rid of depending on what you got. But yeah, if you just want the basic, get the ready to spray. If you want more control, get the concentrate. And I have a video demonstrating how to use that, and that's going to give you a better result. But to answer your question, just basic, no, like doing it now is not going to keep it away in the spring/summer, unfortunately. And if you need a video of how to use it, there's a video there that will tell you exactly how to mix image in a backpack sprayer and apply it. It goes in excruciating detail. It's Saul Rodriguez. What's going on, Saul? Thanks for coming to hang out. And then C. Hill says, greetings, brother. Which Lebanon turf bag are you using? The 13, 25, 12, or 29, 10. I'm not using either of those, C. Hill. Unless you need phosphorus, the 29, 10 is probably what you're going to want to go with. But I'll see. I'm going to make another video on Lebanon turf fertilizers and my thoughts on them and what I'm going to be using during this growing season. Either of those products is going to be fine. You didn't say which line that's from, whether it's from the ProScape line or from the Country Club line, but either of those is fine. The 1325 is only really if you need either you're using it as a starter fert. So say you are seeding the lawn. And you need some phosphorus to help with rooting, like the 1325-12 is a good choice. But as a general product to apply to feed the lawn, the 29010 is probably a better fit. And let's see what else we got here. We're running out of questions, guys. I'm talking you guys out. And then Super TA says, all interested in Milo, please get a soil test first and see where the phosphorus level is at. Lessons learned sitting on 2 bags. Yeah, that's a good point, Super TA. I didn't talk about that. Here's the one thing I've consistently seen. Any soil test that I've looked at, people have sent me. I actually had one today. I had a couple this week, but I had another one today that came in from a viewer, and they mainly feed their lawn with Milo. The lawn looks good, but you tend to get elevated phosphorus levels, and I'm not exactly sure why, because the amount of phosphorus, the percentage of phosphorus in Milorganite really isn't that high. But it definitely raises levels. You definitely ended up with higher phosphorus levels, and in typically all the soil test results I've looked at least here recently, those people that have sent me that have had higher phosphorus levels is something to keep in mind. Good point, Super TA. That's a good one. All right. And then Windchariot says, how often do you spray the bushes with T-Nex? So typically when I'm throughout the mowing season, like whenever I'm doing it, I'm spraying monthly. If I've got a little bit extra in the sprayer, I'll just go and I'll dust them off. So they'll get hit with T-Nex monthly. So whenever the lawn is getting PGR, the shrubs get it as well too. So monthly during the growing season, Windchariot. So that's your question. And let's see what other questions we have here. Splash is in the house. He says, do you still use Carbon Pro L, or are you sticking with the Granular? I use both. I'm trying to see about moving to something else, though, because you guys keep asking for a good carbon product. There are other great liquid carbon products out there other than Carbon Pro L. That are easier to come by. So I'm looking at different options and see what I might switch to this season, just if for anything, so I don't get 1,000 questions all the time saying, where can I get this? I can't order it online. I'd like to start using something that is equivalent, that is as good a product that you guys can also get your hands on pretty easily. Let's see. Oh, guys, we got him. We got SMK. See, you guys you saw it. He committed to it right here. He says, Real Ron, I don't mind doing a herbicide Q&A. Let me know when you want to do it. Sweet. Nice. It's gonna happen. We're gonna schedule it, man. It'll be good. Probably after Lee, so probably 3 weeks from now, maybe. We can plan to do it then. And that's that would be awesome. I think the community would like it, man. And plus you're a wealth of knowledge, so I think it'd be a lot of fun. Very cool. So guys, in support of, this week has been all about herbicides. You know, we sprayed POA. We have we put down the prodiamine. So in concert with that, for those of you guys that are looking to do your pre-emergent this year, if you haven't gotten it as yet, tonight our giveaway is going to be, what do I do with it? It's right here. Tonight our giveaway is going to be this guy, a 5-ounce container. If I can get out of focus and not hate me, 5-ounce container of prodiamine from Sunnyland from Yard Mastery. So this guy, I don't know how much it treats cool season grass, but for warm season grass, this is good for up to 6,000 square feet. This is going to be our giveaway tonight, guys. So I'm pretty excited about that. I think you guys will like it. Let me see what other questions we have here. 2021, SMK says, 2021 is going to be a major suck for me for erosion on my side of the yard. I might spend all my season in reno mode. Sometimes you got to do that, man. I mean, here's the thing. You got to sometimes give up a season to get the lawn you really want. So I totally get that, SMK. Totally get that. And then John chimes in here. Says, Ron, I had a Palisade Zoysia installed in the shaded part of my lawn, the two sides of the house, because it's shade tolerant, but the majority of my lawn is Bermuda since Zoysia is, I didn't get the rest of it as yet. But yeah, I mean, if Palisade Zoysia is doing well in the shade area, you know, good on you. But most warm season grass, if it's doing well in shade, it would do even better with sunlight. Like warm season grass like sun, they need sunlight. So I'm glad that's working well for you and that you found a situation that works. And yeah, there we go. So Jamar is saying, yeah, he hasn't applied his pre-emergent. Hope to get some down this weekend. Okay, guys. So the question of the night to have your chance of winning this shiny bottle of pre-emergent of prodiamine is, I kind of gave the question away already. So, and there's anyone that watches the content is really gonna have an advantage here. So when I did my video earlier this week, the video that was published on spraying pre-emergent, I added the pre-emergent to the container, right? So I did water, I added the pre-emergent, I was agitating it, but I added something else to the backpack sprayer as well. What was the thing that I also added to the backpack sprayer? And let me get my timer out here. That's gonna make you, so you give you guys 30 seconds to answer that. And let's see, stopwatch and get ready. Your time starts now. Time is running. Come on, Sony autofocus, work. There we go, 11 seconds. What did I apply? What else did I put in that backpack sprayer? You got 16 seconds, 17 seconds. See, now one person already got it, so everyone else is gonna follow suit. And Splash said laser blue dye. Look at him. He was very, very precise. Okay, time is up. The time is up. Let me look at my answers here. What other questions? What did I apply? The correct answer is blue marker dye. You're absolutely right. So let's see here what we have. Let's go through our listing here. Let's see what who we have in the as far as people that chimed in. Let me get this up. Okay, so we have names. We first have JD is in here. We have Jamar. Splash, we should almost give you like 2 entries because you were very precise. You didn't say marker dye. You said laser blue marker dye. I knew exactly which one it was. I knew the brand and everything. Splash is in here. Blue Jay is in here. I need to come up with a better way of doing this. This is not going to work once the channel gets bigger. Jesse Hill. Yep, we got Jesse. We have Stan the Man G is in. Let's see. Helmet Ruckus is also throwing his name in the hat for a chance to win some pre-emergent. John Gotch, I did not apply T-Nex in the sprayer, but for trying anyway, we'll enter you. And let's see, John Gotch. And then Mark Rainford. Mark, you didn't say a single thing in the stream all night, but now with this giveaway time, you're chiming in. All right, so Mark Rainford is in there as well. Papa Mo's Low is in. JG is in. I'm surprised LG's not chiming in tonight. He probably doesn't want to have to deal with the potential, the possibility of defeat. Let's see. Nate Moore is in the house. Wow. C Hill, no, it was not surfactant. It was marker dye, but good guess anyway. Chris Hain, and I think we are good. And then Lawn Journeys was in here. I think I've got everybody. I've got everyone that wants to chime in. Did I miss anyone? So here's what I've got. I've got, let's go through the names here. Let's see if I can do this without messing it up. Let's see here. So these are the names that I have. Let's see if this shows up. Yep. Okay. So we have JD, Lamar, Splash, Blue Jay, Jesse, Stan G, Helmet Rucket. I know it's Ruckus. I was typing fast. John Gotch, Mark Rainford, Papa Most Low, JG, Nate Moore, C Hill, Chris Hain, Lawn Journeys. I think Blue Jay. Are there two Blue Jays? There's only one. Yeah, there's only one Blue Jay. Yeah, Blue Jay. And what else we got here? Robert. We want to leave you out. And Jamar. So is Jamar in here? I think I have Jamar already. No, yeah, I do. I do have Jamar. All right. And then Josh Habib is in here. And I had Robert. Okay, cool. So I think that's it. And then finally, LG's like, I'm going to be last. Watch. I'm going to do it. I think that is it. I think that's everyone that I got. Did I miss anybody? And then Robert. I may have to do like a sticker too, because there's a lot of people in here. All right. So I think we have everyone now, guys. So we'll go back to moi. And I'll get this up. Let me get the Google up. So let's also count the number of people we got. I think you have you in there, Robert. I think I added you. Okay, so we will go back to Safari and let's see. So we have 1, 2, 3. Actually, I want to show you guys. I want to make sure I'm all above board. I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get yelled at. I want to, I don't want to make sure any kind of favoritism. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 people is what I have, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. All right, that is a number. 19 people are in the live stream. So we will go to the Google. Let me get rid of my soil test plug here. 19 people. We will set this to 19, our min-max. All right, you guys see this. I've not done any kind of funny business. And now we will roll, and the answer is, did I click it? No, I didn't click it. Sorry, I didn't click it. There we go. The answer is 16, number 16. So let's go back to our text file, and we'll count. So JD, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. The winner tonight is Mr. Josh H. Josh Habib. Congratulations, sir. You are the winner of your very own bottle of prodiamine. Congrats. Congrats. So if you don't have my email address, please send me an email here, ron@golfcourseline.com. Shoot me an email, and I will get this out to you post-haste. And as a consolation prize, we'll remove Josh from the drawing now, and we'll reduce this down to 1. The next one is for a sticker. I'm gonna give away a stripe action sticker as well, since you guys all chimed in, so we can also get that going out. So let's go back to the Google and to Safari. And so now we are down from 19 to 18, and we'll roll and let's see what we get here. Number 12. Number 12. Who was number 12? Number 12. All right, so JD. So JD, you're not the winner. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Nate Moore, you, sir, are the winner of the stripe action sticker. So congratulations. Congratulations to all the winners. So guys, to claim your prize, you have to shoot me an email here, ron@golfcourseline.com, with your address of where you want the sticker mailed for you, Nate, and for Josh, where you want the prodiamine to go. And we will get those going out to you. And yeah, it should be an awesome time. Thank you guys so much. Let's see what other questions I have here, or any follow-up. I don't want to leave anybody out. Let's see. Oh, thanks again, man, on that. Yeah, so guys, the channel just recently crossed 12,000 subscribers. Doing no parts to you guys. Thank you guys so much for that. I really appreciate it. And, continue to hopefully keep growing things. I appreciate all the support and love you guys give me as far as watching the content, commenting on the videos, all that fun stuff. And while you guys are in here, if anyone's in here that has not yet hit the like button, please do so at this point. I really would appreciate it. It helps me out. helps the channel out. And LG says, I have 2.5 gallons of prodiamine with my square footage that lasts for 108 years, literally. Yeah, I mean, it goes a long way. This is very attractive because literally this is like a season application for most people, for most lawns. 6,000 square feet or lower, you're good to go with this. So I figured that someone would like it versus me sending them like a 5-pound jug. That's, you know, literally you're never going to use it all up. So awesome. LG's like Miramichi giveaway next week. You know, I need to reach out to people at Miramichi Green and see if they will sponsor a giveaway. See what they'll do, if they'll throw anything in to do that. I'm down to do it. I'm definitely down to do it. Well, yes. Do I have a question? Mark Rainford says, do I have a question? If you have time, yeah. Do you have time? Drop your question in, Mark. I can absolutely answer it. I didn't see it in here. But if you drop your question in as to what you need help with, I will absolutely answer it, Mark. Drop your question in, and I will answer it. So, guys, as far as things that I said to cover, for those of you that did not win, if you need prodiamine, which again, I'm a big fan, just the 5-ounce, man. If you got like less than 6,000 square feet, don't buy the big jug. Like, just get this one. But if you have a bigger lawn, or you're like lawn care business, and you're going to treat a bunch of lawns, then the 5-pound jug. But yeah, as for those of you that didn't win that still need prodiamine, go with this. Mark, I don't see your question popping in. So if you don't mind, that's a good idea. Card plays as far as like an RGS plot versus a Carbon Pro L plot, you know, we have to do something about that. I mean, again, I'm not going to reveal too much, but there's going to be some options for doing a lot of that versus type question, you know, one versus the other. So, you know, we'll see. In a couple of weeks, we'll be able to talk about it, and we'll see how that works out. Well, guys, here, Mark, I haven't seen your question come in as yet, so if you don't mind, just send me an email here, ron@golfcourselawn.com with your question, and I will answer it. If you send it to me tonight, I'll answer it tonight. I'll get it back to you. I didn't see it pop in here in the live stream, so I'm not going to be able to get to it on here right now, but I will definitely answer it if you send me an email. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I truly appreciate it. As always, please like, share this video, share the live stream with anyone you think could benefit from it. If you're not yet a subscriber, consider subscribing, and I will see you guys next time. Get out there and put down some pre-emergent if it's time for you in your area. And again, appreciate all the love and support. Thank you guys so much for getting the channel to 12,000 subscribers. I will see you guys next week. Take care.